there, dear YouTube audience, and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm, of course, the one that loves you out there the most. It's the Love Giant. We have played through the entirety of the Walking Dead franchise. We have played Season 1, Season 2, New Frontier. Listening to MC Ren or NWA for my entire life, you know, obviously. Fuck it, it's the Final Frontier. Fuck that season anyways. The song is way better, but it goes without saying. Final season, Michonne, the DLC. I've been watching the show, going towards the Negan arc. Fucking can't wait for it. But yeah, we have played through the entirety of the franchise, and what I've said there is that isn't the last that you've seen from The Walking Dead, because we're going to be playing through it again in the future, obviously. That goes without saying as well. But also, there is this thing called Tierlist that people are into, you know. I also like watching that, especially Bakba Soup. Love that guy. And, yeah, we just played through the entirety of the franchise, so, you know, it makes sense that we make a character tier list, because now that I've been playing through it for the second, third, fourth time, especially the first season, where do the characters actually rank? And I found, like, one that has almost all of the characters that are relevant, more or less. And, yeah, we're just gonna be going through it one by one, and you know me, I like rambling on about everything, especially Walking Dead, and there's a lot of points that I obviously want to make, so you also see the length of the video. So yeah, this is probably gonna be a long one. Major pause on that. Let's go. I have a list with the character names to my left, because to be honest, I had to go through every single one, because some of them obviously I do remember, some of them I don't, because there are major characters and also minor characters in here. Minor characters because final season. Anyways, we start off with, speaking of minor characters, we start off with Asim from the final season. Let me actually see, wait. I had like the entirety, there it is. The entirety of the list to my right here, that is Asim. Yep, so that wasn't Mitch. Well, yeah, okay, Asim was one of the guys, yeah, that is the love interest for, what's her face? Final season, where is she? Yeah, Ruby, right. And also the thing, like, with the, what was it, like, marry, flip, and kill kind of thing. And he was also in there, and I think I went with flip him, even though I wanted to go Violet. Not sure where she was in that whole ordeal, but Asim, like, the only character development that he literally had was that he was, major spoilers here, obviously. Say that he was kidnapped. I don't know actually if he can die or not. He was kidnapped alongside Omar. As collateral damage, basically. It might be possible for him to die, actually. But, yeah, other than that, there wasn't really that much. You had like a short convo with him, and that was pretty much it. Was he also the guy that actually was like, had like a journal? And then it was like, or a logbook, and then it was writing down everything that basically AJ wanted to read. I'm not sure if that was him too. But yeah, I'm gonna put him in C, because there's not much to see with him, you know? He's just pretty much there, but doesn't really have that big of an impact. Next off, we have another guy from final season, Abel. Obviously, the one guy that you meet in the first episode... First one? When you basically go for, like, a supply run with Violet and... Fucking hate him. The other guy. Totally forgot his name at this point already. And yeah, with Violet, that's the most important thing. AJ, like, giving out the supplies, and then Abel shows up. He actually smokes, like, cigarettes, and the paper is like Bible pages, basically. You think he dies when you shove him into the horde, but then he actually comes back later, and turns out he's in the gang with Lily. Pretty much an asshole. Oh, you can also, yeah, you can also GTA 5 style torture him. That was cool. Overall, just a, yeah, I'm gonna give him a B. He's a pretty good, like, not main villain, but side villain kind of guy. Definitely hate this guy. But yeah, cool character, definitely. That's also how I'm gonna rate it, like how much I love them and how much character they actually have. AJ, I mean, come on, S tier. Mainstay, obviously, in Season 2. when he was born, didn't really do much there, other than obviously protecting him. In Season 3, given with all the different kind of ways or like choices that you can make, how many different endings you can, that's, I guess, why they went with Final Frontier the way they did. Season kind of sucked overall, but in Season 4, obviously final season, when you actually develop him and the decisions that you make for him actually affect what happens severely in the end, is amazing. Awesome. I love him. Next up is Alvin Season 2. So this is a thing. Alvin in Season 2, when you play through it for the second or third time, especially in like rapid succession, back then I would have said cool guy, obviously. He can die in the lodge right away. When you don't go down, but you actually go with Kenny and he shoots, I think, like 3 people of Carver or something, he actually just outright kills him. When he actually survives, when you sound the alarm, he actually makes sure to shoot like 1 or 2 raiders before he actually dies. I mean, Carver pretty much beat him to death almost. But other than that, he doesn't really have that much dialogue. There's not much interaction with him. Again, if you go with Kenny while Carver, takes over the lodge, basically, there's nothing else after him. Carver just kills him, which was fucking insane. But yeah, the heroic deed that he does when you don't, and actually just surrender and he survives, he keeps some raiders at bay so you can make your escape, out of the office of Carver after you've sounded the alarm, as I mentioned, so... Huh. I'll put him in B? I mean, also, like, the brownie points that he gets, obviously, is that he's, AJ's father. Do I give him a B? Yeah. Yeah, I think even before... Nah, actually, after Abel. Because he didn't get that much screen time. That's not onto him, obviously. Oh, wait. No, here we go. Yeah, that's it. Like, that's the highest tier, obviously, for AJ. Alright. Next up, we have... Oh, Andre Mitchell. Season 1, Episode 1, The Cop. I guess that was, Herschel's... Like, the friend of Herschel's son? Which is interesting, because if you... At the beginning, if you decide... When you meet Clementine and, you go out, basically... If you decide to choose while it is dark, that guy actually dies. When you choose to go out while it's still daylight, then you actually meet him and he doesn't die, which is kind of interesting. But... Oh, no, wait, never mind. That's not him. Never mind. That's the... Wait, or is it... That might be the... Actually, that might be the cop that is in the car that drives you. Is it? Wait. That's why I have a character sheet to my left here. No, never mind. That is... I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. That's Sean Green's friend. That's the cop. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Yeah, okay, so I was right. That's not the guy that at the beginning that literally drives you. That's literally the guy that told you about first. There's not much relevance, but I kind of like the thing that he can either be dead or he can either be alive, so that's kind of cool. But given that he doesn't have that much of an impact, like 0, basically, I'm gonna give him the D. Next up, oh yeah, Andy's Season 1 from the Cannibal family, basically, the Greens. Actually, yeah, also the last guy that you kill from the family. Or that you can choose to kill. And that's the thing, you can either choose to kill them or not. The guy... That is like the guy that is like where I would suspect the least that he would be a bad guy. Because... Like, the other guy is a little bit like, also when you look at him and then, you see him polishing his gun and then he's like, well, this is better than any lady ever fucking protecting me. And he's like, well, it's just a gun. That's like an iconic thing. But this guy, I still kind of liked him. He also, like, when you discover, like, the barn where they basically chop up people, And it's like, yeah, you know, like, we're a dairy farm, but, you know, like, we also have traps set outside. That guy makes sense, and yeah, he's an A tier. He's an A tier, definitely. Next up, we have Anna from Season 1 from Crawford. Basically, the one person that is responsible for the outbreak. It was also the thing with the doctor, which is why Molly also has like a problem with the doctor. You see him like he basically takes advantage of the patients, and then he forces her, specifically Anna, to have like an abortion, which she doesn't want, and then she kills him, and that's how the outbreak basically started. That's a B. That's a B. Given that we basically find out how the infection, how the walkers basically spread here, was pretty nice. Next up, we have piece of shit Arvo. One good line from Kenny, obviously. What was it? No speak at English, and for some reason mentioning communism. Awesome, Kenny. You're gonna... well, anyways. Arvo. Okay, so I have to go with like personal bias. Obviously, that guy is straight up fuckface. I mean, you know, in terms of like... I mean, the thing is, like, okay. The thing is, him and his fucking goons or fucking Russian people... People mentioned that how, like, you know, the irrelevancy basically of 400 days. I mean, it's a DLC. It's like, you know, to... You know, I don't mind it as much as other people. It was basically just a DLC, like filler DLC, to make the wait between Season 1 and 2 a little bit shorter. You know, just to give you, like, more Walking Dead. And then people were like, yeah, but, you know, like, the 400 days characters, like, they were just chopped up with, like, 1 or 2, maybe even less, voice lines when Clementine walks to Carver's office, which sucks. And instead of the Russians with Arvo, they could have made, like, the 400 days characters be in that position. So they had, like, a little bit more... Like, it was a little bit more meaningful 400 days, you know? I would have loved that, actually. Instead of, like, Arvo and his fucking gang. But, yeah, overall, Arvo shoots Clementine. You know? That's immediately fuck you. Bolts off with, I think his name was Michael. And Bonnie, and I fucking hate Bonnie. Fuck. Sick. Man. Hate her so much. I hate her in her 400 days thing. I hate her... Obviously, in the Season 2, when she tries to, you know, like, she is responsible for a lot of deaths in the ski lodge. Could be responsible, depending on your choices, obviously, for Alvin's death, for the one guy that we shot at the bridge in Season 2, you know, like the priest or whatever the fuck he was. They shot him, Walter, shot him. Because, like, she was like, oh, no, you know, I'm alone. I'm on my own here. I don't have a group, you know. I just need something to drink and eat. You know, that kind of shit. And, yeah, then she sides basically with Arvo and fucking... I think it was Michael. Yeah, I fucking hate this guy. I mean, you know, character-wise... Even character-wise, this guy is weak as fuck. You know, they take, like... Bonnie and Clyde, a.k.a. Michael, I think it was. They basically took pity on him. They... You know, try to steal the RV and shit. That's the thing, like, they take pity on him and then basically try to fucking bolt off and leave you basically stranded with nothing, basically leaving you to die. And that guy doesn't do anything to accomplish that, and he shot fucking Clementine. So yeah, guy's a piece of fucking shit. Next up, we have Ava from Season 3. Now, I have seen her death. Like, the choice between having her alive or not is amazing. You know, as shitty as New Frontier is, the season. I love that decision that Joan has, you know, which is like a fake decision, basically. So, when Tripp survives, his death is heroic. When Ava survives, her death is pathetic. Her death is fucking pathetic. If you haven't seen that, check it out on YouTube. Also, when I play the game with Zig, we had the decision actually where she survives, and goddamn, it's pathetic. Like, I had to laugh at that because it was so fucking stupid. But she was a cool character, you know. At first, I was like, you know, when she basically, I mean, she's on the side also of David. I hate the New Frontier and what they did with Clementine. Obviously, if you treat Clementine like shit, then you're a piece of shit. That's a thing. And yeah, she sides with them, obviously. But goddamn, that girl can fight. The girl is loyal. Yeah. That's something like, do I put her before Andy or after? Or do I put her at B? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put you at B. C, sorry. It's like B or A for Ava. Like, this thing, like, her death is stupid, but she is strong throughout, and she is loyal. I mean, yeah. That's an A. That's an A. A for Ava. Next up, Season 3, we have Badger. Really? It's Badger? Is it? Like, I had a beanie. That's usually the defying thing. Oh, no, wait. No, wait. That was Max. Yeah. Ah, okay, yeah. Literally the guy that you can choose to, like, plunge into death. Yeah, that guy's a piece of shit. He's also, like, the one guy that's, you know, basically took down the entirety of the airstrip. Or made the call for it. You can choose to beat him to death, which is, you know, when Jesus is, you know, having a hard-on for you. In the negative sense. But that's the thing, like, he seems like a try-hard villain a little bit. And I just hate, you know, the New Frontier final season. Not final season, the New Frontier shit. Villain-wise, though, kind of weak. The fight with Javi is kind of okay. Huh. Put you at D? I guess. Before the cup, though. Actually put the cup in E because literally he's irrelevant. And also Arvo, he might be a little bit higher, but you know, this is also like personal bias, you know. If I fucking hate the character, then I'm gonna put him that far below. It's not really consistent, you know, my line of thinking, but you know, gotta bear with me. But yeah. Again, like for Badger, it's a little bit of a, I mean, he's sort of a main villain, but not, you know, because he's in a group with Max also. And there's not really that, like, he's just like, that's the thing also with the characters in New Frontier, there's just like, either, there's like not really a gray area, it feels, it's just like, you're either good or bad, you know? But there's nothing besides that. Next up we have Jake, which is an interesting addition to the fucking thing. That's one of the bandits in Season 1. And basically when you, what was it, like episode... It should be episode 3, when you basically leave the motor in. So one of the guys responsible for that. Either that or... Wait. Or is it the guy that you meet in in episode 2? You know, the guy that just basically... You know, when you spy on them, and he just... You know, shoots his friend or something. He may have been employed by the Save Lot supermarket. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Oh, that is something. I didn't know that. So Jake is mentioned by Jolene, which you see later on, as being responsible for the rape and murder of her daughter. Oh. He may have been present during the attack of the Traveler Motel. If so, he may have been killed, either shot by Lee or devoured by walkers. Ah, well, that puts another spin. I didn't even know that much. So that's like, okay. The thing is, like, you see leaves behind him, so that could either be one of the guys at the motor inn, literally, or one of the, like, you know, the ones that you spy on in episode 2, when you like walk to the green farm, you know. But yeah, that gives a lot of that gives some backstory for a character that is not really relevant. That's a C then. That's a C. That's also a piece of shit. Next up, we have Becca from 400 Days. This is a character that's kind of hard to wager because you play as the other one. Shale? We see her later. She's like her sister, I think. And even though, you know... Okay, sorry, I thought I had, like, audio problems there. Yeah, Becca, even though, like, when I look at, or when I watch, like, the show at the moment, she is, like, the one that I would probably be. Like, making the choices that are just rational and that make sense, and you don't really think about, like, the repercussions afterwards. Even though, like, you had that whole thing where the guy's, like, you know, one of, like, the woman that was in the group with Becca and Shell, or Shoal, Shell, I think it was, she, like, stole something. He locks her up in a truck, and then, you make the decision either if you know, want to keep with Kim Jong-un there, basically, you know, and just execute her, which makes sense because she steals from the group and tries to bolt off, and that leaves you at, you know, you might die because you don't have any supplies because she took all of them. So yeah, you either stay with this dictator piece of shit, or you fucking go. She, however, says then, you know, well, yeah, she stole from the group, so she has to be killed, which kind of makes fucking sense, you know. And if I watched the show nowadays, I would kind of think the same too. So yeah, like, that girl's a cold piece. Again, obviously, that's like the 400 days characters. You have to really look at them under the scope of 400 days, and not really in season 2 where they appeared in, because yeah, it was just like 1 or 2 voice lines that they had towards, like, Clementine, and that was it. But yeah, girl is a cold piece. Obviously, she knows how the zombie apocalypse works. I'm seeing a C. And she really has her own mindset. Like, when you make a decision for her, as Shell, she still listens, though, you know, and she tries to be understanding and shit. Isn't she also the one that plays guitar? I think it is. I think... I mean, that's even more than the Raider guy. Yeah. Also, let's do it like this. Yeah. Yeah, Ben is shit, obviously. Fuck that guy. Literally, name one thing that he does that is beneficial to the group. Dying. Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, that's an S tier then. Now, the thing is... this fucking piece of shit, man. He is on the lookout when you meet... Fuck. No. How's he called? Shit. Season 1 with her. How is he? Fuck. Not I always have Asim. Omar, right. When you meet Omar for the first time, love that guy, and you cut down the truck and he is on the fucking train on the lookout. There is a massive horde coming in. It takes them ages to actually tell that there is a horde coming. The only thing you are there for, because you are shit and you can't do anything else. You can't even do that right. And then obviously, you know, when in the junction in the town, when you go to the mansion thing, when Chuck dies basically later on, he's there with Clementine at the crossroads, and it's like, oh, you know, I'm like, Clementine is surrounded by walkers, you know, this piece of shit, instead of, like, you know, shoving the walkers away, trying to protect Clementine, this guy bolts off and saves his own ass. You know? And obviously also, he's the one that gives, like, all of the supplies to the fucking raiders, who then basically come in and fucking, you know, overrun the fucking motor inn. This guy's responsible for so many deaths, also the death of Doug or Carly, depending on who you save, obviously. Fuck him. He does nothing for the group. Literally not. Well, actually, double F. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. Hate him. Absolutely atrocious. Bonnie is also a fuckface. Arvo takes... I guess he takes the cake because he also shoots Clementine. I mean, this is like the F tier is literally of people that I just hate on a personal level, you know? And I can't be like, oh, you know, but actually she has, like, when you wager in, like, all of the character development and her trying to fucking play Clementine, basically, and then fucking leaving her to die by proxy, then, yeah, that's like a D or C tier maybe, but I just hate her on a fundamental level. In 400 days, I fucking hate romance arcs. Except for the Clementine Violet one, where I can actually, you know, be like, okay, I want this to be a thing. You know, I want to be in control. But this whole fucking thing with the doctor that I don't give a fuck about, and the fucking woman, I think her name is Pamela or some shit. And then, obviously, like, the fucking betrayal at the ski lodge in Season 2. Later on, another betrayal with Michael and Arvo, you know, when she wants to leave the group. And, you know, taking literally everything, taking the RV that Kenny fixed. She didn't do jack shit for that, you know? And then feeling pity for Arvo because, like, I don't know, this woman is fucking shit, you know? She's just fucking shit. I mean, she fucking literally killed, like, the doctor probably by proxy. She killed Pamela by proxy in 400 days. She killed Walter. Debatably also Alvin in the ski lodge. It tries to basically, you know, play, like, the role of, like, oh, but Clementine, I care for you. And fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Next off, we have... that was Bunny. We have Boyd, which is from the cancer support group in Season 1. One of the guys that overpowered Kenny, which is so stupid. Yeah, appearing in Season 1 and 400 days. Ah, yeah, right. He was also in the group with where did I put her? Right here, with Becca and Shell. Yeah, there were some of the cancer survivor group that actually made it with them. Ah, was he the guy that painted? Like, he had a painting, I think? And I think, if I remember correctly, there is this one guy in the Becca and Shell thing, where he basically ran in, they, you know, put a shit on him, so he can't see, and then it's like either you kill him or you don't, or you spare him. And I think if you kill him, he survives. If you don't, he dies off screen. And it later comes that basically that guy that you let go, he was actually part of a group of raiders or something, and they basically ransacked, like, most of your supplies, and I think they also killed him. If I remember correctly. But yeah, one of the, you know, I mean, yeah, that's an E. Yeah, put him before the cop, actually, because he's, like, more memorable and has a little bit of a major role comparatively. He exists, you know? And, you know, that one thing where he dies or he doesn't off-screen is something. And overall, he's like, you know, he's a cool guy. He exists. Branda in Season 1. Oh my god, darling. Well, yeah. The major cannibal, basically. Larry also tried to hit on her, which could have been interesting. Yo, villain-wise, she's really high up there. She's not that much of a threat on her own. It's more like the manipulative side of shit. And obviously, she has her two sons. I think if I look at the whole roster here, I think I would put her before Abel. Because also, Episode 2, there's just so much that happens in Episode 2 in Season 1. And Episode 2 is literally one of my absolute favorites. And would you really think that she is a cannibal and that she prepares human meat? I mean, she is the one... Actually, yeah, she's also the one that chopped off, I think it was Markiplier in Episode 2. He chopped his leg off and then also cooked it. I think that was also her. I think that's an A. That's before Andy, however. Because she's like the main conspirator kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Then we have Bree, the Season 1 from the cancer support group that goes with you into Crawford because she knows the layout because she went to school there. Dies later on because of the incompetency of fucking Ben. Ben, diddling around in fucking Crawford. That's what I forgot also. You know, you have like a hatchet in the handles and at the door. The stupid piece of shit is like, oh, this probably doesn't prevent like anything from going in. I'm just gonna take this and defend myself from whatever the fuck. Also, he diddles around with the door that we wanted him to get in for the entirety of the fucking time we spent in Crawford. Which is like, I don't know, like, let's say like 30 minutes or something. And then when zombies burst in, you have, I think it was Kenny actually, who just fucking kicked the door down. He was diddling with that fucking lock for 30 minutes. Piece of shit. However, Bree, that's the thing, like, doesn't have that much. Like, that's literally also just a character that exists, but is a little bit more memorable. Given that she dies, obviously, later on, that doesn't really help her case that much. So, yeah. I guess we can put her in there. Because there's not much to her. Other than that her name is basically a cheese. Next up. This goes alphabetically, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Next up is Brody. Oh, yeah. That's a major one. When you don't choose to go fishing with Violet and her, which you should, because Violet is a double S tier, you never really get that much of a bond with her. But obviously you see when Marlon kills her. And I don't know, I mean, that's like the boarding house of troubled youth that we are in the final season. So she definitely has like a mental thing, I'm pretty sure, because like something compulsive, because she just starts cursing when she's getting nervous and stuff like that. And this thing, she also makes sure with you and with the help of Clementine, obviously, for Violet to open up a little bit more. Complex character. Her death is really, really sad. And also scary when we fight her in the basement. So yeah. But also, that's the thing. She can also be completely overshined if you don't go don't go fishing with Violet and her. So, no, that's not a B tier. Actually, that's an A tier, I think. Yeah. There's a lot of untapped potential also that they could have gone with. Next up, we have Carly from Season 1, which is a character that I actually always saved until I played it lately and I actually went for Duck, which is the better decision by far. Carly is actually the one that also knows about Lee's past and is like, and when you save her, that's the thing, she's really good with a gun, That's the thing. And that's why you should keep her around, because that's what keeps you safe. However, I am the one that plays and I have a pretty good aim, because the game has auto-aim. So I don't really need her, I figured, And the thing is also, she knows about her past, which is a completely different reveal, because she makes you reveal your past to the group. Which hits differently than when you choose to save Duck, because then they know it basically from Lily. So for Carly, many people just save her, but just that you have to reveal it to the group and then, I mean, she can become like a romantic love interest, but obviously she dies by the hands of Lily later on. And she doesn't know basic things, when she dills around with the radio and it's like, well, the batteries are missing. You put the batteries in wrong, that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know how she even functioned before that. With that being said, in that whole scenario in the group, she definitely is beneficial because, again, she's a pretty good shot. She knows your past also because she's a reporter. Yeah, I think that's before Abel, actually. Because, like, she's dangerous in two different kind of ways, but also kind of keeps you safe. Next up, we have Carlos Oliveira from Season 2, from Recess. The doctor. That, yeah, like the father of, what's-her-face. Actually completely shields her from everything that happens. It's kind of hard. Like, when you actually play it again, he doesn't really have that much of like a... I don't know. He seems like in relation to Clementine, he just seems to like not play that much of a major role. Like, he doesn't really interact much with her. He mostly interacts with the group, I feel, and obviously with his daughter, which makes sense. But Yeah, actually he dies when you walk yourself with, cover yourself in walker guts and then walk out a thing because he gets shot by a stray bullet. Or maybe it was aimed at him directly. And then obviously also his daughter that dies later on, but... I think that's a B? Yeah. I would put him in the same category as Alvin. Maybe before? Nah, he has a heroic arc where he actually saves... Well, also he saves you because he's a doctor. They're kind of on like the same wavelength, I think. Now, Carver. That is... is it? I'm thinking... Like, you know, villain-wise, in, like, you know, the entirety of the franchise, there's not really that much of a guy where it's like, oh, Negan. You know, like a guy that is just like, Or like the Governor, which I hate, but he was a pencil dick. Carver is an S, absolutely. He is also an ass. Like the compulsive death of Richie, the guy that lost his arm, you know, where he just shoves him off the fucking ledge. Him hitting Clementine. You know, when you stare back at him in episode 2? Season 2? No, 3. That's what it was, right? When you are in the compound. Also, that guy is a straight-up dictator. You can play him, where it's like, you know, he wants you to see him, like, as Clementine. He orders Clementine to his office, and then you can basically play him, you know? Like, and also the thing, like, he showing up as, like, the stranger in the house is such a cool moment. You know, when he just barges in. And then also, like, the one thing where he said, like, you know, like, you don't know who these people are. Like, how much did they trust you? And it's like, well, they locked me up in a barn. And, you know, he... Manipulative piece of shit. You know? But also, he can really rough you up. And that's, you know, something... That guy's a problem. Absolutely. But I love him. I love to hate him. You know? And that's a case of a good villain, then. Definitely. But probably the strongest villain that, the entire franchise has. But we're coming to one later on, man. Next up, we have Chet. Not Chad, obviously, but Chet. That is one of the guys in the neighborhood. At the beginning of Season 1. Also Episode 1, obviously. Yeah, that's the same case with... I mean, yeah... I think I like him more than the cop. A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Like, he's just there. He has, like, a couple of voice lines. I think he's also the one that confronts you, like, what are you actually, you know, to Clementine? Yeah. Next up, we have Krista, Season 1 and Season 2. I mean, that woman. Do I dare put her before Carver or after? Or do I put her in A tier? Actually, I think I'll put her in S tier because the thing is, we don't know. Like, if you don't see a character die on screen with your own eyes. That goes for the show and that goes for the game. If you don't see them die, then there is a chance that they are still alive. And that's also the case for her. When the Raiders hit in episode 1, and you know, like later on in the episode, in the first episode, you see like all of the bodies laying around. Also, with the one guy, like you see the jacket from Becca's group, you know, that guy. You see them all, like, the bodies laying around, but not hers. So she might still be alive. And I heard that in the final season, they actually planned for Lily's role to be filled by Krista, which kind of makes sense, sorta, but not really, because Krista's kind of a good person, and she probably wouldn't have done it to Clementine in the first place. But, like, her whole arc of, like, being pregnant, losing the baby also in episode 2, Omar dying... But her basically being the guardian for Clementine later on, and also, like, she is suspicious at first about, like, Lee and his group, which makes sense. Like this or like this? I would kind of rate them the same, to be honest. But still, Carver, with his moments, he's slightly better. There's, like, more memorable stuff with him. But yeah, like, the whole Krista mystery, I mean, I would have loved for Telltale to actually tell us what happened with her, you know? Because that's just, like, literally stuff that eats you alive. She could have easily been killed by the Raiders. She could have joined them. She could have ran away. Died to a fucking walker. wherever, you know, stuff like that. Met up with Rick's group even, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that could have happened, but we don't know. Next up, we have Chuck Mangione, Season 1, that guy. At first, obviously, you know, a cool guy kind of ambushes you in his train, which you kind of stole, to be fair. Then, you know, the thing where he's like, yeah, that little girl's gonna die. But then he actually explains why, you know, you should train her, you know, you should make her adapt, you should make her comfortable with holding a gun, shooting walkers, like target practice, which actually saved Molly. Later on in the 4th episode, dies, obviously, because of Ben's stupid incompetence. Guys, yeah, he's an S tier. He's an S tier. That guy is a cool dude. That guy's a cool dude. Also, lifting up the spirits of the group while they are at one of the lowest points, you know? Yeah. I mean, come on. Clementine, that's double S tier. Come on, she is number 1. As you can clearly tell, you know? That's obvious. That's not even a question. Next up, we have Clinton from Final Season. The one guy that tries to maintain order and not have a fucking, not have Jones' idea of a dictatorship, basically. The only reasonable guy. When almost everything collapsed, he tried to maintain order. He didn't have that much of, like, screen time, but when he does, he's strong. And at one point with the, you know, with the lynch mob, basically. Yeah. I guess I put him in A. Yeah. Yeah, that's a low A. I mean, he doesn't have that much screen time, but when he does, he definitely sticks to, you know, what's right, you know? He's like Dale if Dale would be not annoying, basically, from the show. Next up, we have Clive from the supporters group. Given that I can't really pinpoint what he was or who he was, but that he was part of it. That's an E tier. Okay. Next up, we have Conrad, Season 3. The guy that basically also lost Francine, which didn't really bother me too much because we didn't even know her, but the torture scene in front of the gate was obviously shit. From Badger's group, Max's group, and by proxy, David's group. Threatens Clementine later on. He could have shot fucking Ben. I wouldn't have minded that. That would have put him in double S tier right away. Not Ben, Gabe. But other than that, kind of a throwaway character. You forget him really fast. Has a little bit more staying power than Badger. I guess that's D tier. Yeah, because like he stays around for like 2 episodes, but he doesn't really do much. The only thing is like he dies. Next up we have Danny from Season 1. Look at this guy. I mean, that guy literally looks like a serial killer. Also the guy that is like, you know, polishing his gun like he's rubbing one off or something, and he's like, he's just like, it's just a gun, dude. Like, calm the fuck down. That guy is unhinged, and that is like the guy that I would mostly, like, you know, for him, Andy, that's the thing. He looks normal. You know, you wouldn't assume him to be a cannibal. For this guy, that guy looks like Jeffrey Dahmer. You know? Also, that haircut is just fucking atrociously bad. That's an A? Because that guy would literally scare me. Like, look at this grin. Jesus. That guy's nightmare fuel, straight up. I think I put him here. Yeah. I'm also like debating now if I should put her in S. But nah, actually no. Nah, not really. But yeah, that guy, you can kind of tell that there's something wrong with him. For him, not too much. And that's why I think that makes Andy a little bit more dangerous. Next up, we have Danny, 400 Days, the Vince episode. Which I think they basically hint at him being a pedophile, which is weird. You know? Which makes me condemn him right away to double F tier. And then you can also choose between saving him, which is, you know, ruining a girl's life, or the other guy that basically ruining multiple guys' life because he's like a fucking broker kind of guy. Dude, I mean, that guy, I'm like torn because you don't really get too much information with him. But then again, he's more memorable. Yeah, because I would like, you know, like to know more about him. So I'm putting him at high E tier. Yeah. Next up, we have David in season 3. I mean, okay. A bro, literally. The guy is so... You can't like him. You know? You can't like him. And I don't like him, you know? Like, the guy's just shit. But of course, it's by design. I mean, literally, that guy is an F tier. But he is. I don't like him. You know? He has like a weird personality where he tries to be a tough guy and then roughs you up and shit like that. But then he's like, oh, but my brother, and we tell him, and you saw me playing it. We tell him that there is nothing going on between us and his fucking woman, you know? Obviously, we shut every fucking opportunity down, but he doesn't want to hear it. I don't like him. Next up, we have D. That's the name. I said Pamela earlier. That's from 400 Days Bonnie episode. The woman that basically... Well, Bonnie is responsible for killing her. Basically, I think she's like together with the rehab doctor, and then like Bonnie tries to get in between them. Give a shit. The thing is, like, I like her more than Bonnie, obviously, but it's not a hard feat to accomplish. But she's so irrelevant, though. Kinda. Like, she's throwing a hissy fit, but that's justified towards Bonnie. But again, I just don't, like, I don't know. Well, let's put her here. It's kind of hard to wager. Who the fuck? Okay, this is Dorian. Who the fuck is Dorian? Apparently, she's from the final season. Oh, from the Delta Squad, right. Okay. Oh, wait. I think this could be the one that... Yeah. She's with Abel and all of them. I think this is also the one that pins down either... Forgot his name? No, wait. She pins down Violet, and I think it's possible for her to actually cut off one of her fingers if you don't let AJ basically jump on her. And I think like she's one of the prison guards, I think. I think that's it. Memorable just for that. But comparatively to Badger, Tryhard, and Conrad, I think I put her here. Because, yeah, I hate you for what you did to, or what you could do to Violet, but other than that, you know, just a prison guard, basically. Next up, we have Doc, bro. That guy, A tier, absolutely. I put him before Carver also, because, or S tier, sorry. Because the value that he brings when you don't choose for Carly but Doc is so good. That guy doesn't give you shit when you give someone else like something to eat and stuff like that, you know, like he literally rejects it, like give it to the other people. But, you know, he, like with the tools that he has, he makes like a little alarm thing. So you know when like people or walkers are coming close to the mortar inn. At the end, when shit goes down, he actually comes down to the ranch, and then he uses like his laser pointer to basically blind Andy when he tries to fucking kill you. That guy is so good, you know? He's too good for a zombie apocalypse, definitely. And he bring like the tools that he has, you know, he knows how to, he's a nerd, he doesn't really fight much, but he knows how to have his like know-how that he has with technology and stuff like that and puts it to the max. And, you know, just figures out how to save or how to be an asset to the group with that. Cool, dude. Duck in season 1, I fucking hate him. I couldn't care less what happens to him. He's annoying. By the way, Duck also has a cool thing where, you know, the St. John's give you like the bread, and he pretty much eats everything right away, so that was a nice little comedy relief moment. The detective thing with Duck was the only thing that was like kind of funny. But other than that, I fucking hate this kid. His death comes as a surprise. And that's how the downward spiral of Kenny basically begins. In that sense, yeah. I guess C. I fucking hate him. Next up, we have Eddie. Oh yeah, 400 days, and obviously from the Wyatt thing. It appears in 400 days, which the Wyatt thing is like the most interesting one, because like everything in 400 days is kind of tied together with like the different characters appearing in their respective, like, you know, episodes. Wyatt and Eddie basically being hunted by that one guy from... I forgot his name, from the kids thing. The guy, the trucker guy, the fucking lunatic. They're being chased down by him, basically. I think they shot like his friend or something like that. And then Wyatt, obviously, he can either die. Like, there are so many different endings. You can die, he can take it with you, I guess, something like that. He has a cool decision, or a cool conversation with Wyatt, you know, which is like a conversation that you would have in real life. So, relatable, dude. Definitely the strongest one from the 400 days things is the Wyatt thing. Also, thanks to Eddie, brings a lot to the table. And he tries to, like, that's like right at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, so he just shot someone and couldn't really, like, he tries to make good for it, you know, like, he hits a zombie or whatever in the woods, and then he's, like, really going out because he wants to make sure that, you know, the person is okay, that it wasn't a walker and stuff like that, you know, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I'm gonna keep him right here. Next up we have, oh yeah, that's a tough one, Edith from season 2 or 3, which is the ending where Clementine is at, what's the fucking place called? Like the sanctuary, basically. And given that I always went with Jane, went back to the to Carver's place, basically. I never saw her, I never knew her, so I can't place her. I don't know. I've seen like something with her. I think she's like the guard or something. Yeah, I can't rank her because I never saw her. Next up, oh, Eleanor, season 3. She can fuck up your Final Frontier experience further. Like, when you are in jail, she's like, oh yeah, you know, I can bail you out. And I trust her, and then you're on shit terms with Trip. And Trip basically, you know, he's like, okay, you wait here, and then the next day we go together, I'm gonna help you guys out. And yeah, obviously he's not gonna like that when you fucking break out of jail thanks to Eleanor. And then Eleanor later on, you know, she gives you shit for, I don't know exactly what it was, but like Trip also trying to hit on her because they had like a thing before, and Eleanor inadvertently basically being responsible for the death of Trip, and then she tries to blame you for it when you are the one that actually caused the entire fucking thing. Know what I'm saying? So, shit, dude. Garbage. But she's a doctor, that's why they need her. But she doesn't really know how to fight. And she's just annoying later on. And she doesn't really contribute anything to... Like, the only thing that she contributes is, like, yeah, being a doctor. I think C tier. Actually, she's annoys the hell out of me so much. Slightly before Conrad, I think. Like, also, this is also a character that could have been so much, but didn't. You know, I don't know. Like, there's this one point where she just exists, but doesn't contribute anything to any progression. And that's the thing why I hate the Final Frontier Final Frontier season so much, because it feels so stale. It feels like nothing's happening. You know? And when something happens, then it doesn't feel... It still doesn't feel like anything's happening. Jesus Christ. Next up, we have Eli. Another Season 3 guy. The one that sells Clementine fake bullets. That's what I noted here because I couldn't remember this guy. Dies by the hand of Clementine also. Selling someone fake bullets, obviously, is literally a death sentence, so that's a shitty thing. Just a shady trader, basically. Logan Paul in fucking zombie apocalypse terms, pretty much. Yeah, other than that, though, there's also not much to him, but more than these two. More than Bree. More than this guy. Yeah. Yeah, this guy is still a little bit more interesting than fucking Eli. Next up, we have Fern, which is a soldier at one of David's soldiers at the gate. And later, after that, she is not seen anymore, so irrelevant. Francine, which is like the guy, well, the girl that gets basically captured by David's goons and gets mutilated at the gate. They try to kind of make you care for it. She's like Conrad's friend, Conrad's like love interest or whatever. But given that you only see her once, yeah, she also rides a horse. A little bit of a rascal, like, you know, when you go into the airstrip, Prescott, and then she like barely makes it into Prescott again, and then yeah, she gets killed by the raiders or David's soldiers. But I didn't really. I mean, yeah, like mutilating someone in front of the gate that literally belongs to the community to lure out someone, Clementine respectively, I think they wanted, is shit. So you can suck it, but. Yeah, I think I'll put her here. Right. Yeah, the one on the left is like a little bit more relevant. Yeah, fuck Gabriel. That's all you need to know. Fuck him. Hate him. Stupid piece of shit. Glenn. Now in the show, I would definitely put... wouldn't put him in double S tier. I would put him in S tier. His character is exactly like it is in the show. I hate that he leaves in episode 1. But overall, you know, I think that's like before he meets up with Rick and the group. Because he literally drives into Atlanta. I can't see anything wrong with him. I would love to see more of him, obviously, in you know, the game's terms. Well, I guess I would mess up the timeline with the show and the comics. So in that sense, S tier, A tier, A tier. Yeah, now I'm gonna put him here because the thing is, like, it's literally just one episode, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I think... Well, yeah. I'm gonna put him here. That feels good. Next up, Herschel Green. Obviously heavily based, I would say, on the comics because he looks completely different in the show. In the show, that's the double S tier. Absolutely. Here... It... You encounter him, you try to save his son, which doesn't work. He kicks you out regardless. Guy is a little bit... I mean, that makes sense, you know. Yeah, it's just like random people that, you know, his son brings in to the farm. So it's like, you know, you're a little bit hesitant. Yeah, I think I put him here before good old Alvin. Right after Abel. I think that's a good spot because, like, you know, if you would have, like, kept them a little bit longer or would have kept, like, the stay at the green thing a little bit longer, you could have, like, figured them out a little bit more. But so there's not much to go on. But still a good character. Next up, we have Irene from Season 1. Yeah. That's that's a character that is interesting because like one of the 4 characters I think it was in the entirety of the game that actually is able to commit suicide, and it can be either messy or it can be sort of clean in a morbid way. Completely unhinged, got bitten, is about to turn and wants to kill herself, basically. Yeah, it can either end up messy when you just give her the gun. That's the thing, like, she's, like, twitching. Like, you don't know, is she gonna kill you? Is she, you know? So, that's an interesting character. Psychotic, absolutely. I think I'll give her a C. Yeah. Because, like, still, you want to give her the gun, yes, so she can end it herself. But then there's still, like, the chance that she might kill you, you know? James, final season, one of the Whisperers. That guy takes a 180 with me handling AJ. I don't know if he does that. I think he does that in general. And then basically attacks Clementine and is like, oh, I don't want to resort to my evil ways from back then. And zombies are people too. No, they are not. He tries to make you see, like, walkers as, like, you know, that basically they are just, like, people or whatever the fuck, or their own, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see a show, because I know that one of them, I guess, is, like, inadvertently also the cause of Tara's death, and Tara's one of my favorite characters in the Walking Dead season, so fuck the Whisperers. This guy also completely unhinged later on, tries to snatch AJ away from you, because, I mean, bro, Lily... You don't fucking realize what Lily has been doing. Lily can either blind Violet. If you do anything to Violet or Clementine, you are dead. Okay? So, that, or the guy that I don't care about, rips his tongue out, makes child soldiers for a cause. Of course I'm gonna tell you, Eugene. I'm gonna tell AJ to fucking deck the shit out of her. And then he has the fucking audacity of like, oh no, he's out of control. You don't have him under control anymore. I'm gonna take AJ with me and I'm gonna teach him the ways how to actually make it. And fuck you, dude. And then he snatches him away. AJ obviously wants to stay with Clementine and not with your ass. You know? And obviously, you know, when I played first time, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I can see that, you know, there's more to walkers than meets the eye. This time I was like, no. I'm like mature now. The walkers are walkers, you know? It's like the fucking thing that Lizzie in the fucking Walking Dead, that the girl in the Walking Dead show basically tries to fucking pander around, but she has a mental issue, obviously. So does he. He has like more staying power, obviously. He also makes sure that we get back to the boarding house. Yeah, but the guy just annoys the fuck out of me, so that's a D. Jane, welcome to the hate train, boys. Back in the day, all the people that I asked, and also Zig, when he played it for the first time, shoot Kenny or Jane, they shot Kenny. People back then also had like a way more open mindset to Jane, and I still think that Jane Tech. I shouted at multiple times, you know, she teach Clementine the way of, like, safely disposing of walkers, which is like kneecap, you know, kick him in the shin, and then, you know, ice pick or whatever you have to the back of the head. She does that from the first time she learns it, Clementine, from season 1 all the way to season 4. In season 3 and season 4, all the time. Staying power. Coming back, when the Ruskies attacked them, Clementine and her group could have been dead, but she came back and saved them. Right? The whole thing with, you know, showing how Kenny is actually a problem, and then when, you know, that's the thing. When Rick lost Lori, when Rick lost the prison, when Rick lost that one woman that I don't know, that guy goes off the rails, but he always snaps back to reality and comes back stronger later on. Kenny doesn't. Kenny absolutely fucking doesn't, but that's later on for Kenny. And when you take that one thing from someone in the zombie apocalypse, that's what I see in the show, and that's what I see in the game. For Clementine, it's AJ. When you take that one thing that keeps you fighting in the zombie apocalypse, if you snatch that away, that meaning of life, basically, if you snatch that away from someone, that guy becomes unhinged. Rick, For him, that happens multiple times, but he always bounces back. He always finds something more to fight for. And for Jane, she shows you, if you take that away from him, you know, Rick doesn't kill anyone when that happens. You know, he keeps to himself, he almost kills himself, but he's not a threat to other people. He literally kills Jane, you know? And that's shit. And that's exactly what Jane tried to show you. If he loses that meaning of life, he kills anyone. It doesn't matter, you know? So yeah, if anyone is like, you know, oh, this thing of Jane was completely stupid. No, it wasn't. It was to prove a point, and she proved that point. She kept true to it. And also, with that being said, Jane's just a badass, you know? I hate her death in Final Frontier. I hate it. It could have been done way better. And it ends up being pregnant at the thing with Luke. Who's another case, actually. So that's going to be interesting where I rank him. But yeah, Jane is actually a double S tier. I fucking love her. She's awesome. Javier. The only shining light in the shit show that is the Final Frontier. I mean, you play as him, obviously, but yeah, cares about family. Guy is just in general just likable. Before Chuck, I think. Before Krista? Yeah. Javi is a cool dude. Also, like, obviously the signature baseball bat that he uses, which is not this, but yeah, is also pretty cool. Interactions with Clementine are wholesome. Oh, actually, I should give you a double F tier for that atrocious haircut he gives her at the end. Nah, but yeah, Javier is good. Oh, Jesus. In the show, I'm at season 6. Also, slight spoilers. I saw Negan's group for the first time, like a couple of them. Jesus, I didn't know that he stayed with the group that much. Jesus in the show is awesome. And, in the game here is a little bit annoying because like, oh, you don't seem to value human life as much when you basically kill like 2 people or something like that. Who had it coming, you know, not letting David in at the compound and then killing Badger, basically, you know, which I didn't even kill him, you know, I sort of did, but I didn't bludgeon him to death, you know, I didn't turn his stone piece into confetti. I still let him live a little bit, sort of. But yeah. Here, though, however, you know, I mean, he fucking saved Gabriel, so that's a minus point. But the way he, like, tricks Javi, like, with the scarecrow thing, that was cool. And also, when he does, like, the Prince of Persia at the wall, and then just, like, the way he fights zombies is insane. That's an A tier. That's a high 8. Well, yeah, actually, he comes later on. You can have like a romantic conversation with him when he's on his horse. Yeah. Next up, we have Joan. Joan is interesting because she can either, like, her whereabouts can be either unknown, because when you don't choose to shoot her, she can still be alive or not. We don't know. She gets lost in a mix, or we just outright shoot her in the face. That's how she dies. And also, obviously, she's on a fucking power trip when she basically tries to sort like a dictatorship, which is a little bit shut down by Clint. But I think if we would have let that stay, she would have turned into a dictatorship, obviously. And she's also the one that orders like the raids on the other settlements. So, token bad guy in New Frontier. But comparatively, obviously, to cover, she's nothing compared to the manipulation shit of... What was her name? Brenda from Season 1, right here. She's not that much. I mean, Brenda can't fight, that's obvious. But she has, like, the manipulation shit down. And she also had, like, the gun on the temple of Kenny's wife. For her, yeah, she's mostly just manipulative. I think like this. It seems about right. Yeah. There could have been a little bit more. They could have made her a little bit more of a threat on her own, but they chose not to. Jolene is a god tier character. That is probably the best thing that comes out of the game next to Violet and Clementine, obviously. That woman, she tells you exactly what happens, what the greens are. But the thing is, like, she is so unhinged, you don't know if she's telling the truth or if she's just off her rocker psycho bonkers crazy. Apparently, she had a daughter that got raped and killed also by other raiders. Later on, you see her actually filming the group, and then she tells also at the end, like, you know, as long as they get their food from the dairy, they're safe. And that's when you also hear, like, they overtake her. Yeah, that's prime shit. You don't know if she's like, she's exactly telling you what's going on. But obviously you can't really believe her, because is it true or is it not? Probably not, because she seems to be fucking crazy and psychotic. This is prime character writing, dude. It's so good. I'm gonna give this girl... Yeah, I'm gonna put her up here. I'm gonna put her up here. She is... That's such a good character, man. Next up, we have Joyce from the Cancer Support Group, Fighter Group thing. She appears in 400 Days, I think. Or does she? I don't know. It turns out, at the end, also, Vermin, as I like to call him, and his group, the Cancer Survival Group, they actually took the boat and died. Fucking idiots. So it's actually good that they actually took it. I mean... not much to her. No, next up we have the crypto guy, as I like to call him, Justin from 400 Days, Vince. The other guy, obviously was him, which was... what was his name? We had him earlier. Where is it? It was 400 Day... Danny, right. So that's like the other guy, the guy that basically... He destroyed one girl's lives, he destroyed multiple people's lives because finances. More interesting, I think I saved him. I think. He has like a cool little banter with Danny and also with Vince. So that also puts him up there. But that high? I don't know. Well, also, at this group entirely is like, you know, like they're fighting for relevancy, kinda. I'm gonna put him here, and we're gonna see if there are like more people that come up that, because they're like they have some facets, you know. It could be interesting to get to know more of them or about them. Oh my god! Next up, we have Thirst Trap Kate from season 3. Always trying to hit on Javi, even though she's in a relationship. I mean, overall, not that big of a deal. Kind of a cool character, but I just hate the thirst trap, and I hate the romance angle. That's why I love, like, season 1 to 4 minus 3 so much, because there is, like, no romance arc. If you want to say Jane and Luke, sure, but that's really on the nose, kinda, and it's not, like, annoying. This is straight up annoying. But she could have fought a little bit more against David. She doesn't really get it when I reject her every single time, and she still tries. She's weak. Dare I put her here? In C? Is she more annoying? Well, actually, no. She's not more annoying than Doug. Duck. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll put her here. And next up, we have Katja from Season 1. Who's basically there for Duck, which makes sense, because she's the mother. Her death comes as a complete surprise and helps Kenny's downward spiral even more. She's also the one, you know, when she finds out about your past, that she's like, you know, we don't care because you've proven that you know, care about us. So, you know, that's the most important thing. Just a good soul in general. Yeah, put her in C. That's good. Now, everyone puts him in double S tier. I hate Kenny. And again, you know, I said my piece with Jane, you know. Kenny is Rick Grimes in really, really bad. Because again, Rick Grimes puts himself in harm's way when he's, you know, in the shitter. Multiple times. More so than Kenny ever did. He's completely weird in Season 2. The thing that I also hate so much in Season 2, in Episode 3, when, you know, you are in this van, in Carver's van, the stupid motherfucker is like, oh, yo, I have to get this fucking cuffs off. Okay, what are you gonna do then? Well, yeah, then I'm gonna, I don't know, they have guns, you know, they have soldiers. Yeah, then I'm just gonna fucking punch someone unconscious, take his weapon, and kill all of them. You don't think things through. You're completely unhinged and stupid. What you do makes no sense. And then, you know, this obviously the thing in Season 1 when it's like, oh, Lee, you know how to pick locks because you're urban? What? Well, and also, you know, and then also in Season 2, obviously, you know, when he gets the fucking living daylight punched out of Carver. I kind of rooted for Carver in that sense at this point, but, you know. But, yeah, that's the thing, like, you know, Rick puts himself in harm's way when he's in the shitter. Kenny literally kills other people for that. And then, you know, the whole thing with Arvo, he needs a punching bag. I kind of like that. That was okay. But other than that, the guy is unhinged. And what I mentioned every single time, what I saw, I think it was a Reddit post or something. Kenny is a cancer to every group he's in. Every group he's in falls up to pieces because he can't control his fucking anger. We sort of did that with Lee in Season 1, where I fought twice with this asshole. One in the attic and one in the train. And then maybe he doesn't help you later on. Stubborn. Doesn't listen to anyone else. Is a piece of shit to Clementine sometimes. When Sarita dies, when we literally tried to save her, which he didn't do anything about. Just saying. I hate him. I hate him. Sorry. Unsubscribe, sure. I fucking hate Kenny. That's why I love Jane even more. You know, like, it goes hand in hand, basically. He has some good character development, yes, but I just generally despise him. And for guys that I generally despise, right? I'm gonna put you here. No. Wait. In terms of, like, character and stuff like that, and, you know, his meaningness to the entire franchise of The Walking Dead games, he's somewhere in A and B tier. Yes. I just despise him. And everyone that I despise and I can't... This is like the group that I despise and I can't judge them. You know? That's who's in this group. Like, I can't fairly rank them. You know? That's why it's just hate them. Which might mean they're in double S tier because I just hate them so much. But yeah, I mean, out of all of those 4 that are in here right now, I dislike Kenny the least, however, you know? The most dislike is Arvo, for sure. Next up, we have, oh my god, Larry from Season 1. Certified asshole. You are meant to hate him. He cares only about Lily. Has an anger problem. Yeah, they just make you hate him, and they succeeded with that. I don't even know why you keep him in the group. It's not like he's really an asset, to be honest. I mean, he dies later on to the hands of Kenny, and that's the thing, like, Kenny also smashing fucking Larry's brain in when you don't even know that he's a zombie. I mean, yeah, okay, he's towering and shit, but I think he actually starts breathing just before he drops that fucking thing, like the salt lick on his head. So he might still be alive. in episode 2. But with all the characters that we have here, I think I put Larry here. That seems about right. Lee Everett, I mean, come on. It's double S tier, obviously, right up there. Clementine obviously takes the main spot. That's obvious. Lee is right up there at second place. Awesome. It's not even a debate. Next up, we have, oh my god, Leland. 400 Days, a Bonnie episode. Right up there with the wife. Yeah, I dislike him more than the wife, so yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, Lily. Season 1, and then the reveal when she came back in final season. She's an amazing villain, but Carver is still more unhinged. But dude, does it feel good when AJ shoots her? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. In season 1, she was still kind of cool. She actually knew that there was a conspiracy going on. Ben, someone like giving supplies to the Raiders, basically. So she was onto something there. Again, you know, it's a cool character development. You don't know, is she like off her rockers? Is she getting crazy, or is there actually something behind her? That's why I entertained the idea, you know. And then obviously the comeback in final season. She's such a piece of shit. Trying to persuade AJ into, you know, getting to her. That guy's good. That kid is gonna die with you. Awesome villain, definitely. The thing is, like, her whereabouts can also be unknown. She can sort of survive if you don't choose to kill her, which is also insane. So yeah, I'm gonna put her up here. I think that's fair. Next up, we have Logan, the doctor from season 1. Also, obviously, the one that said like you to her from Crawford that she has to basically have an abortion. She helps Molly smuggle supplies by a little bit of a jiggy. That's why she made double sure to her that he's actually dead, which he isn't actually at the end. Yeah, abides by the rules of Crawford. Definitely a piece of shit. Double morals. Asshole. But more important than all of the characters that we have here so far, I think. Well, it also helps, like, flesh out Molly's backstory a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put him here. Yeah, seems about right. Next up, we have... Who the fuck is Lonnie? Season 3. I think I know who it is. Wait. Yeah, right. The guy that has like the bandana around his arm and then cries to Joan of Arc, where he's like, "Oh, we were outnumbered and they killed him and it was brutal." They look similar. Yeah, he's also the one that you see in episode 1 of Final Frontier when you are at this little shack, basically. When you siphon some gas, and it's like, "There's our gas," from Max. Guy is complete spineless coward. And doesn't serve that much of a purpose, to be honest, other than being a nuisance. So, D, I think? Is it even the guy that I'm talking about? Wait. I don't mention anything, but I think it's him. Yeah, seems about right, I think. Yeah. Ah, that's the name that I forgot. Lois. Same case with Kenny. I can't rank him fairly because I hate him. The reason why I hate him is easy. He is the one... He's like that guy that I also know in real life some of these people. I'm like Violet, you know. I'm like, you know, to myself, I'm quiet and stuff like that. This guy's loud, obnoxious, doesn't take anything serious. This guy is annoying as hell. And that's why I really, 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 really dislike him. The thing of, like, you know, Lily cutting off his tongue makes sense because the guy just doesn't stop talking ever. Still too gruesome, but I mean, it kind of helps of him being a more bearable character because he doesn't talk the entire time. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I can't rank him fairly because I just hate him. I outright just fucking don't like him. So I just have to put him here. Next up, we have Luke from Season 2. First time playing it, actually. I loved him a lot more. After replaying it, not so much. And it seems, what I heard, is that the plans of Telltale was actually, like, his death is like a shit. But the thing is also that it seems like the place that Jane takes was supposed to be Luke. Because, you know Luke from the beginning of episode 1 of the second season. He helps Clementine. You know, you have like a cool relationship with him. You know, you fight hand in hand and stuff like that on the bridge. For instance, he always has your back as Clementine. He's a funny guy, you know. And so it would have made sense for the final showdown to be between Luke and Kenny. I don't know what made them change the plan. What made them have like a change of pace. Because that would have been also interesting to see what people would have chosen then. Maybe like the whole thing of like hiding baby AJ is like more in character with Jane, they thought, or something like that. I don't know. But overall, Luke, I really love him. Really like him. Reasonable guy. You know, you have a conversation with him at the beginning when he basically says, you know, sorry for dropping you and doubting you and shit like that. Yeah, he's up there. More so than Jesus, I think, yeah. Not an S tier, but definitely an A tier, yeah. Okay. Mariana in Season 3. This is interesting because I love Mariana. She dies in the first episode, completely uncalled for. Like, but it's classic Walking Dead fashion, right? Like, you know, she finds like a Walkman. She has like the batteries, and it's like nice, and then shot in the head by Badger and his fucking idiots. But yeah, Mariana, she's short. Like, you know, she has a short stay in New Frontier, but like the 2-3 conversations that you have with her are really cool. I really love her. Completely fuck Ben. Guy's an asshole, and Mariana is just like, if Ben is here, then, like, you know, in terms of likability, well, actually he's like somewhere down there, somewhere at the Earth's core, maybe even further down, and Mariana's just up here, you know. Yes. I think I put her in C. Yes. Because she, like, if she would have been a little bit there a little bit longer, then I definitely would have put her a little bit higher. Next up, we have Markiplier. So this is like of Season 1, where they basically had the thing of like, we have a character that is only there for one episode. In episode 1, Season 1, it was Glenn. In episode 2, it was Markiplier. Right here in episode 3. Well, you could argue Chuck, because he's only there for episode 3 and 4, not really. In episode 4, it was Molly. Mark, obviously memorable because, like, St. John's, they cut off his leg and stuff like that, you know, and ate it. And then you see him, like, you know, don't eat the meat and stuff like that. It's like, tough shit. And also he has a cool little relationship with Lee. Stand-up guy. Would have loved to see more of him. I think that's... Yeah, gonna put him right here. Guy's a cool dude. Next... Oh my god, Marlon. final season. That guy has a temper issue, obviously. He killed... I put him an 8 here. Killed Brody. Completely out of left field. AJ shot him in the face when he wasn't a threat anymore, basically. He's a cool dude. Okay, the mullet is Eugene levels. So, bonus and minus points at the same time. It's kind of criminal to rock that kind of hairstyle, but I think Eugene would approve, so there's that. He's really cool at the beginning. You know, he's reasonable. He's like, you know, you can help us out and shit like that. Until you actually find out that he sold out, like, the twins, I think it was, and also Violet's love interest, Minerva, also sold her out for the safety of the others. Trying to basically kick out AJ and Clementine, making it seem that Clementine killed Brody when he did that. Guy's unhinged, complex character. He's cool at the beginning when you meet him. Yeah, complex as fuck. I think... Yeah, I think he goes here, actually. He's only there for one episode, but damn, he's present. Like, he defines that episode for sure. Next up we have Matthew from season 2. That was Walter's brother. Man, that angered me so much. Like, Nick just straight up shooting him when he was like, you know, we can offer you something. We have like a, I think, nah, actually, yeah. That's the thing, like, they are like, you know, Matthews is still out here. You know, if he comes back, you're gonna love him. And then it actually turns out when you are at the lodge that this was the guy that Nick shot, you know? And then Walter finds out that Nick shot him. That was cool. That was really cool. And also Matthew was just like a cool guy that just like... Why? Nick, you know, I can't blame Nick because, you know, it's Nick. He didn't mean... Like, he wanted to protect us, obviously, but he obviously wasn't a threat, so that kind of sucked, but... Matthew is just a cool dude. You know, has the right heart at the right place. Yeah. He's just a good guy. Next up, we have Mad Max from season 3, the certified bad guy. He can either die or not, and then he actually speaks out for you. He doesn't, like, you know, suck on Joan's titties trying to make, you know, spinning lies or something like that. He actually stays with you. Probably like the best character that you have out of the Final Frontier, because like either him dying or not is like, you know, definitely makes a difference. Yeah, I'm gonna put him here. Also, Jenny really hated him, so did it right. So I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at when I saw this. Until I realized this is Maybell from season 1, which is the cow. And it has like this cute moment with like Clementine who's like, yeah, this thing is a salt, this is a salt lick. Don't lick it, it's gross. And then Leah's like, did you lick it? And it's like, I don't know. So that was cool. You know, like the little glimpse of normality that is in the zombie apocalypse. So that's an S tier, I guess. Next up, Michelle, season 2, the one that shot Omar, which completely uncalled for. The whole thing where she basically comes in and then, you know, you just see her in like the crack in the toilet stall. That was kind of scary as fuck. Gets shot right away by Krista with a fucking shotgun when she actually just dropped the gun. And I didn't mean to. You shot someone, you fucking idiot. Yeah, it's a short stay, but she has a high impact because she shot a really, really, really likable character. I think it's about here. It's getting tough. It's getting tough. But I think that's a... I still let... Maybe... Actually here, because the shock value of me dying to that, you know, if you wager that in. Oh, I called him something different earlier. But yeah, we have Mike I hate this guy. Can't rate him. Obviously, together with Arvo and... Actually, wait. Hold on. I dislike Kenny not more than him. But actually, I hate him, yeah. Thing like this, yeah. Yeah, because Mike obviously, you know, bolts off, like, feels pity with Arvo for some fucking reason. He's the one that ambushed you and shot you, you goddamn idiot. You know, it's like the Dale or... what's his face in Season 6 in the show? Season 5 and 6 and also Season 1. Morgan. The Morgan and Dale theory of like, you know, they're not bad people, you know, per se. It's like we treat them bad and shit like that. No. He like, you know, then also bolts off, basically putting everyone in, like Jane, Kenny, Clementine in harm's way because they bolt off with the RV and all of the supplies. So fuck you, Mike. Thing is like when you go to that museum thing and you... like you have like a little bit of a bond with Mike when you see like the raccoon. He's like, I would eat the shit out of that raccoon. That was cool, you know. That's about it. Minerva is absolute. That woman, dare I say, worse than Carver? Is she? Yeah. The thing is, what actually got, you know, burned into my brain with Minerva was when you make your way out of the fucking thing, you think everything is hunky-dory. You're making your way to the bridge, and then you just hear... Oh, I'm getting goosebumps for thinking about that. You hear this singing, and then she just, you know, as a walking zombie almost, just comes towards you with an axe and just tries to fucking kill you. Jesus Christ, man. And then also, obviously, the complete loyalty to Lily, the complete brainwash that she's under from Lily. Insane. Like, you can't get through to her anymore. She sees Violet, nothing goes through her. She sees Tennessee, still alive, which actually is a way where Violet can die, which fucking made me like, what the fuck, bro? If AJ doesn't intervene, obviously, then she can die. Basically saying like, you know, Tennessee, come to me, be with your family and shit like that. Like, it's... bro. Minerva is insane. Like, you also, you know, try to convince her in... I think you meet her in episode... 3? 3. 2? 3. Before, like, the whole raid thing. Raid Shadow Legends. And... you basically try to, you know, convince her to come back. Like, it's not too late. No, she's gone. Nothing goes through her anymore. Awesome. Absolutely. Absolute threat also at the end. Almost killed Clementine. Like a fucking axe shit to the fucking... like almost an axe hit to the leg and shit like that. Visceral. Mitch from final season. Certified bully. Certified bad guy. Has a leather jacket. Like all the tropes basically of a bad guy. Deals with bombs. I think that was him. Dies later on, sadly, during the raid of Lily's fucking squad. Little bit unlikable, but that's by design. They tried really hard to, you know, portray like the leather jacket wearing certified bad guy kind of thing. Going with that. But overall, more memorable. You can also name the bomb Mitch's masterpiece. And yeah, he's dealing with the explosives, so he's an asset for sure. Molly, Season 1. That woman is fucking amazing. Works with Hilda, I think it was. Or Matilda. Matilda or Hilda, the little hook thing that she has. I love the mask that she is wearing at the beginning. She has like this really cool facial expressions when she's like, you know, you're going through the house and then you see her just like going through like the cupboards and shit like that. And it's like, Lee's like, what are you doing? And she like stands up right and like, I'm doing nothing. And when you are at Crawford, because she knows her way around, which is a little bit sus, and he's like, well, pharmaceuticals should be at the doctor's office. You know, and she's like smiling to her, all proud of himself. And then I think it was Bree, who was like, how do you know that? And then like the facial expression was like, I don't know, makes sense, right? That's just a cool thing about her. I would really like for her to have stayed. Like, her whereabouts are unknown. But yeah, I absolutely love her. I love her. Like, in that episode she's in, she's absolute god tier. Like, you see her also climbing, like, Spider-Man style, basically, from a building and stuff like that. She overtakes Lee and Kenny as well. Her weapon is sick. She's awesome. She's really cool. Has some funny moments, you know, yeah. Ah, Nate. That's the guy that I meant. That's the guy that is, like, basically related to Wyatt and Eddie that we have here in B tier. That guy's a lunatic. I hate him. Absolutely. Piece of shit. I don't even know if there's much to it, to be honest. I mean, he's there. He attacks Eddie, and Wyatt for no... Well, actually, they shot his friend, I guess, so that's why he probably came after them. Yeah, like, the way he treats Russell is just fucking stupid. Yeah, fuck him. I can't rate him fairly. I don't like dislike him more than Mike, though. Do I? Well, that's betrayal, and I thought... Well, actually, yeah, like this. Yeah. Next up, we have Nick from Season 2. A guy that I really can't hate. The way he treats his uncle, who was a really cool guy, kind of sucked. Even though he only wanted the best for him, obviously, but he kind of pushed him. He killed Matthew, which, you know, itchy trigger finger. The guy is a little bit, like, mentally problematic, but because he lost a lot of people. Also, his mother, I think it was. So I can't really fault him for, like, making poor life decisions, but I sort of still can. His death is bad. You know, it's not really memorable, really. But I think I would put him... Yeah, before Joe, before Alvin? Herschel? I think right here. Because we kind of know a lot about him. But there's still, like, some untapped potential, and also his death could have been a little bit more memorable, considering that he's with the group for... Because, like, he's not really present in episode 3 when you are at the compound. He's not really... he's there, but he doesn't really do much. So he's there for episode 1 to 3, 4. Yeah, 1 to 4, actually. And he's only basically, like, relevant for 1 and 2. He almost shot us also at the beginning. Yeah, when he had the rifle pointed down, almost at our dome piece. So, yeah. Guy is completely fucking off the rockers, obviously, but yeah. Next up, we have Omar, final season. I can put him together with Asim. Because... Well... He got kidnapped. Well, a little bit more relevant than Asim, I think. Well, Asim had the thing with Ruby. Also, he has it at the end when he doesn't die, if he doesn't die. But yeah, well... Actually, in that case, he's more relevant than Omar. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. He's just one of the guys, like collateral damage, one of the guys that got kidnapped. Next up, we have Omid, obviously, my dudes. Obviously, Omid is all the way up here. Introduced together with Krista. He always has like a... He always keeps the spirit up. He never thinks of anything bad. He always likes to make the best... dude, that's an A tier. That's a double S tier. That guy literally doesn't have a bad bone in his body. Like, not at all. Not at all. That guy is just awesome. And obviously, his death was a throwaway. Shocking, because it was shit. That could have been more memorable. That could have been more memorable. But yeah, overall, Omar, you know, always sees the positive side of things. It's not annoying like fucking... I forgot his name already is. Yeah, I like him. Oh, Dr. Lingard. God. Literally the Morgan of fucking the New Frontier. Kill me! Also a guy that I can't rate fairly. The cool thing is that he can either die or not if you don't inject him. I wanted to, you know, let Clementine aside. But also, yeah, I forgot. That's why I also fucking hate David, because he basically killed AJ Well, not, but, you know, took him away from Clementine for some fucking reason. He denied also treatment to Alvin Jr. He's not as fucking corrupt as the guy from Crawford right here is, obviously. What was his fucking name, actually? Logan, right. Not as corrupt as Logan, because he doesn't, you know, get paid with poon poon or shit like that, but... Yeah, I mean, the guy is also obviously like on drugs 24/7. When he's like, the supplies don't, you know, are not enough for everyone and shit like that. But I still spare them, and I think he's still like in an existential crisis, but yeah. Also a piece of shit, obviously certified. Next up, let me see. Lingard, right. Next up, we have, that's not, no. Oh, never mind, yeah. Wait. They're missing a character then, I think. Did they? Ah, no, never mind, okay. Next up, we have Luke from Season 2. Was it his name? The uncle from Nick? Let me see. Was it? Yeah, it's not. It's Pete, exactly. Pervert Pete. Fucked it up there. Pete. Dude, the guy's A tier. He's not there for like a long amount of time, but just the way like he interacts with Clementine, taking her fishing. Yeah, you can just tell he's a good guy. Gets killed off obviously in the first episode. But yeah, it's just a general good guy. I would definitely love to see him survive a little bit longer, which why also, you know, it makes like when he gets actually zombified, makes it a little bit more harder to stomach. Also another guy from Nick that he loses, from his family that he loses. But yeah, definitely a cool guy. Next up we have Randy, which is part of the family in Season 2 when you get the Jane ending. A guy that actually, I think, turns out to actually steal off supplies, if I remember correctly, so I didn't even let him in. You also see that he has a pistol tucked away. That's pretty much it. You just get to know that he was a raider, sorta. Or that he basically, you know, ransacked the place in mentioned in a flashback with Jane in Final Frontier. For that, obviously, he's an asshole. And it was a good decision I didn't let him in. Yeah. Gonna put him here. Next up, we have Rebecca. She actually doesn't have that much of a presence in Season 2. Like, overall, in the overall grand scheme of things. Obviously, she's related to Carver. She made the announcement back in the day. Had like a thing with Carver. The kid obviously is Alvin's. Is pregnant, dies, gets zombified when the Ruskies attack, and then, yeah. Really dislikable at the beginning because she doesn't like Clementine and is just really hostile, but later on, you know, opens up to her. Yeah, becomes a good character, absolutely. And also is like, you know, Kenny is like problematic. Maybe you can, you know, check that out. And she exactly, right? Exactly got under that. I think I think I put her here. Seems about right, yeah. She obviously had way more staying power and is more memorable than Alvin, because she also had like more interactions, obviously. Next up, we have Rebecca. No, we don't. That's wrong. Randy. There we go. Randy from Season 2. The guy that you meet in the compound. Gets killed by Carver. He mentions that he lost his arm, and I doubt that. He mentioned that he lost his arm to like a walker bite and they just amputated it. He was one of the guys that actually tried to run away with the group, and I'm pretty sure that Carver was probably like, you know, you tried to run away from us. We're gonna take something from you, so you can't do that again. That's probably what happened. I doubt that it was a walker bite that they didn't want to spread. Overall, he just tries to, you know, get back into the group, doesn't try to cause any kind of trouble, which obviously puts him in hot water with Kenny. But Kenny is unhinged anyways, so he doesn't make sense. But overall a cool guy. Doesn't want anyone to cause any harm and anything, like a little bit weak also because of that. So yeah, I'm gonna put him here. Next up, we have Reggie from Season 2. So that is the guy, basically, that tries to establish a dictatorship in the compound with Rebecca and Shell. And that you actually see right here. Yeah, the guy that basically is like, you know, she stole supplies from us. So either we kill her, or... I think that's actually the only thing. You either kill her, or you just steal the RV, and then, you know, bolt. He's like, yeah, but he's gonna fucking, you know, go after us. And no, if he stays at the motor inn or at the diner, then he doesn't. The thing is also that you see him in Season 2, like, you know, there's the coat that he has, like the logo. He's one of the guys that got killed either by raiders or by Carver's group at, like, you know, when you are at the place where you want to fish with Pete, Nick, and Clementine. Then you see like a bunch of fucking raiders or guys just, you know, standing or like laying there dead, and he's among them. So that was a cool addition. And yeah, just literally dictator, basically, relevant for the Shell Becca episode, which was also one of the better ones in 400 Days. Toss away one was Bonnie. I'll put him here. It's not as good as, like, you know, having the outbreak or her just being reasonable, you know? But yeah, I think he's right there. Decent character. Rosie from the final season. I mean, I hate perros, but once Marlon dies, you basically take control over Rosie. You have a dog now. AJ also obviously loves Rosie. You can use her also for the torture scene. Rosie's a badass. Come on, man. I mean, I'm a cat person, but this dog is sick. Actually, you know what? It's fucking S tier. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I think that's a good place for Rosie. Or before Javi? Dude, the bad haircut. Yes, before, definitely. Yeah, and her using her in the torture scene and the first time she kills a zombie. Yeah. She can be scary as fuck. Next up, Ruby. Final season. Organizes the party to lift up the spirits before you make your way to the fucking thing. You get to know a little bit about her past when you do like that little party game, basically. Is together with Asim later on. First time you see her is actually, that little motherfucker bit me. Yeah. She's good. I think you don't interact too much with her. You interact with her in the greenhouse when you also see like the fucking teacher. The only one that didn't leave them to die, basically, and try to still, you know, keep them safe. That's a tough one. Is it a B or is it a C tier? I think it's a high C tier. I think the first one is C, I think. Yeah. That seems good. Who the fuck? Okay, this is Rufus. Who the fuck is Rufus? let's see. He's season 3. The fuck is this guy? Oh, the guy that drives the bus, basically, and that you can either kill or not. I know it has a little bit of a significance if you kill him or not. But it's just being mentioned once, I think. Yeah, it's... Yeah, right at the beginning when you get kidnapped. He's a driver. Boy, phew. It's the first... I guess one of the first, like, major, quote-unquote, decisions to kill him or not to kill him. Meaning he has that. I guess I put him here. Yeah. Next up should be Russell. Yeah, Russell from 400 Days. Guy who tries to make his way to his grandma and then gets fucking taken over by Nate right here. This piece of shit. He's also obviously a group that can be with Carver's group or not, depends. I guess D tier, probably. It's mostly characters I dislike. Not with him, though. He's okay. But also, he doesn't have really that much weight. He doesn't have that much weight, overall. This episode was kind of cool, though. Sorta. It was short, also. Really short. One of the shortest one, I think. I think... Yeah, I think here. Yeah. Yeah, this episode is short and to the point. Okay, next one... It should be Salvador, which is Javi's father. Well, you have minus points immediately because you're also David's father. By that. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Also hides his fucking cancer thing. But yeah, I mean... Doesn't he turn into a zombie? Was that him? I think so. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, overall, you know, he exists. He's not bad. Mostly exists in flashbacks anyway, so yeah, I guess B is good. Sarah. I was pretty sure up until recently that the reason why she acts the way she acts is because her father tries to shield her from, like, Carlos tries to shield her from everything that is actually happening. So she doesn't function normal. But she also seems to have, like, a mental thing. Whether it be ADHD or something like that. Abso-fucking-lutely. In the compound, she is absolutely terrified, obviously, because of Carver. Having Carlos smack her across the face also is fucking insane. I also like her breaking down after that. You can save her in later on. Gets killed a couple of minutes later. However, Jane kind of wants to, you know, let her go because she slows you down, obviously. But you can actually take her with you. She kind of gets herself killed later on. When they try to make their way, covered in walker guts, and they try to make their way through the horde, and then her father gets... No, her father gets shot, and then she starts crying, and then just runs into the woods wherever, and Luke actually goes after her, trying to save her, get her, whatever. Like, when Clementine, you know, smacks her across the face also later on, and then is like, move, you know, she actually moves and tries to stay alive. So she has that. She doesn't want... She definitely tries later on. With the limited stuff that she's given, because no one ever told her how to defend herself. I think that's a B. It's more relevant than Larry, in my opinion. Also more interesting. More than... Yeah, that's high. That's high B. That's a high B tier. Right together with her father there. Next up, we have Sarita, which is Kenny's new wife, I guess. You cut her off her arm. At the end of the episode, we actually meet her in. So she's only there for one episode, which is insane. You don't get to know too much about her. No, wait. No, never mind. She doesn't die in the same thing because she actually is with you at the compound, and that's when, like, Kenny gives, like, the crowbar to Carver's face, and she's like, no, don't look. And it's like, I decide. Not a bad person, but also we don't get to know too much about her, so she's not really that relevant. She plays around with Sarah a little bit, with like decorating the Christmas tree and stuff like that, so she has that. I don't think she can actually defend herself too well. It doesn't seem that way. In the compound episode, she's also not, if I remember correctly, she's not really doing anything. Considering all the other characters, I think I'll put her here. That seems about right. Okay, next up we have Sean Green, Season 1, which is Herschel's son. General cool guy. One of the first people that she actually meets that also helps you out of the city. Keeps you at the barn. Dies obviously later on because Duck. Even if you try to save him, he dies. But overall, cool character. Can't dislike him. Didn't contribute too much, obviously, to the overall thing. But just gives you like the general premise, the setup of what is going on. So that you got it going for him. Next up we have Shell. Yell that Shell. 400 Days, obviously the Shell episode. Sister of... where is she? There she is, Becca. Given that you made the decisions mostly for her, she doesn't really have that much of character. But she's always keeps together with Becca. Tries to have the best for her, like the best interest. Yeah, literally, other than you making decisions for her, she doesn't really have that much character. Right after Becca. Next up, we have Steph, also from 400 Days to Shell thing, the woman that actually stole supplies. Again, a character that doesn't really contribute too much to anything, but I would like to know more about her. Which is why I'm gonna put her right here. Yeah, getting to know more about her would be cool. And we have Tavia from 400 Days and Season 2, one of the guards and one of the one woman that basically is like for recruitment. She takes all of the 400 Days people, finds them, and then, you know, convinces most of them or all of them or some of them to come to the compound with her. Also like a guard, obviously, does regular patrols. Definitely a cornerstone for Carver. Also in terms of relevancy, definitely up there. Yeah, I think I'll put her here. Because you don't also have too much interactions with her. You do have that with the 400 Days guys, but not really with Clementine. Next up, we have Tennessee from the final season. Reasonable kid. Best friend of AJ. AJ has to shoot him if you have AJ make the call. If not, Violet dies, which is fucking insane. Tennessee, also the brother of Minerva, which is another thing. You also are together with him and AJ, and then later on Violet. Well, also James, that fucking piece of shit. The Walker guy here, Whisperer guy, Whisperer Walker guy, definitely. With all the things that, you know, surround him, the intricacies, being related to Minerva, by proxy sorta to Violet. Yeah, actually Violet taking the role of the caretaker, sorta. And also having AJ as a friend, obviously, bumps him up there. And also he's just like a reasonable character, overall. But he can inadvertently be the cause of Violet's death. So that's a big problem. But aside from that, I think he's still A tier. I'll put him before Glenn. Yeah. Yeah. Next up we have Travis. Let me see. Oh, right. The guy that was with Ben. Oh yeah, they're missing the teacher. I think. Ben's teacher isn't there, but that guy is. Yeah, his guy, what was like his dad is like Air Force or something like that, and then he just trips and dies, and fucking Ben actually survives. Well, he's there. He exists. He has a little bit of... He stays there a little bit. Doesn't do much. Okay. Next up, Trip. You are the cause of Crawford being burned down. You're the cause of Conrad being dead. You're the cause of the shit with Eleanor basically like crumbling. Everything, like, Trip has every reason to fucking kill you, but he doesn't, and he still sticks with you, and his death is heroic as fuck. Trip is a good guy. Absolutely. But he's kind of hard to read, and that's like that's a problem that I have with him. He's hard to read. He never really smiles or anything, you know? But he knows where a phantom punches. It's my favorite thing, actually. Yeah, I think I'll put him up there. That looks about right. Yeah. Next up we have Troy. Oh yeah, Troy. Season 2. Gets killed by... The way he gets killed by Jane is just hilarious. When he's like, no, you shot my dick. And so like that, you know. Also being just like a general piece of shit of like... when Carver is like, you know, to Carlos, like, slap your daughter, basically. If not, then Troy here, he can be a little bit overzealous. Is that what it means? And like, it means I slapped the shit out of her, yeah. That guy acts like such a big fucking deal. But he's not, you know? But yeah, generally unlikable character. Hate him, but that's exactly, you know, the point of him. So by that notion, I think I'll put him... I don't know if I dislike him more than Larry, to be honest. I think I do. Yeah. Actually, also when Clementine and Sarah go, or mostly Sarah, goes to pee in the forest, also did everything come out all right, girls? I was like, what the fuck, bro? It's like, brother, Vernon. I mean, literally. I mean, literally. Literally. The guy's like, you know, Clementine isn't safe with you. I should get her. This is the first thing. And then, what I never knew is, when Kenny doesn't come with you, the cancer survivor group outmuscle Kenny. How much of a fucking tool do you have to be overthrown by them? You know? But yeah, they steal the boat, obviously. They're pieces of shit. obviously, when they try to be like, oh no, we're the good people and shit like that. Nah, you're pieces of shit. And then, yeah, him trying to take over take Clementine from us. Basically, the guy can fucking suck a dick. Hate this guy. Vernon, more like vermin. Absolutely. Next up, we have Vince from 400 Days, obviously from Vince's Vince's 400 Days episode. Who I also like to call Markiplier because it kind of looks like it's just like Mark. I mean, if I can call it, it's called Mark. Look at this thing, it's Markiplier, and so is this guy Markiplier. You know, or actually maybe Justin Wang also could be a well, not really. But overall, Vince has a cool interaction, obviously, with the two other convicts, Danny and I think what was his name, stock market guy, Mark Zuckerberg. I think for me, actually, he didn't go with Tavia to the compound, so he wasn't even in season 2 for me, I think. He's like the most relevant one, I guess, here. Jesus. I guess he's like the most relevant one here. Come to think of it, I put you lower. Yeah. I think that works, yeah. Violet is obvious. Yeah. Yeah. Right before Lee. First time I saw Violet, I was like, yeah, this is exactly me, basically. Love interest for Clementine, definitely the one that she deserves. The romance arc between them is awesome. I love it. She deserves all the best things that ever, you know, like, she opens up to Clementine. Character development is awesome. She always helps you out. People say, like, you know, she has, like, still that thing from Minerva. Have you played the game? She doesn't. Minerva is gone. For Violet and for everyone. So, yeah. Violet, absolutely amazing. Fucking love her. Best character ever. No doubt about that. Right up there. Right up there. Right up there. Obviously, Lee. Yes, obviously. Right there. And also the things like, you know, when it's like, when you have like that conversation with Lee. I think it was episode 3 in the final season. When you are at the train. Lee also has a thing like, you know, you have a girl now that, you know, that really loves you, and, you know, you have to protect her, and she protects you and stuff like that. So he approves, you know. So that's that. Approval from Lee, you know, absolutely. Violet, love her. Walt Disney, or Walter, from season 2. Obviously the guy, what was his name? Matthew's brother. Put him in A, I think. Yeah. Matthew's brother right here. He can find out that when you make Nick do that, that Nick actually shot him. With no ill intent, obviously. Guy is a good soul. Maybe too good for this world. I think I put him up there. It takes a lot to actually forgive someone shooting your brother, so yes. Next up we have, oh, Walt. That's from 400 Days from Russell Thing, the one of the the husband of the couple that is locked in, or locked themselves in that gas station thing where they basically shoot at Russell and Nate. Obviously gets shot by Nate no matter what you do, because the guy is an unhinged piece of shit. Thing is, you don't get too much of a backstory with him. So he just exists. And if I take a look at all the characters that we have here... Yeah, I think I'll put him here. Because he's not really relevant. Next up, we have Willie from the final season, the chronic masturbator. Also the guy that is like responsible for the bomb later on. Yeah, definitely pulls his weight around. Has a little bit of a fight, I think, also with him, I think, but later they make up, you know, and he dies, and then it's like, you know, we gotta make it for Mitch. Yeah, he pulls his weight. I think I'll put him here. Oh, actually, B, maybe? I mean, he, you know, again, he's like responsible for the whole bomb thing to blow up and also to work. When I think his name was Mitch isn't there anymore. So actually, yeah, I'm gonna put him a little bit higher here. I'm gonna put him here. One more. We have Wyatt from 400 Days. And season 2. Wyatt obviously has the best, alongside Eddie, obviously, the best 400 Days thing. So, with that, Eddie I put in B. I think I can put them together. Seems about right, yeah. The thing is, I think it was Eddie that was also present in... Wait, let me see. Let me see if that was correct, but I think it is. I totally forgot to mention that. He is also in... Yeah. You also see him in final season. Let me see. Yeah. Where we know that he gets killed by Clementine because, you know, they lock up AJ in that one farm thing, and he is actually one of the guards there that tries to protect the people in the barn. And he thinks like Clementine is one of the raiders. So that's also the relevancy that he basically has to the entire franchise, which is more than you actually first would think. That's why Eddie actually is a little bit higher, I think, because, you know, he has a little bit more... Like, even though if I wouldn't have read that, then I wouldn't even know that it was Eddie. You know, but that's a cool thing. Little nod to 400 Days again. And that, my friends, is my character tier list so far. Let me go down from bottom to top, obviously. Again, double F categories, absolute pieces of shit that don't contribute anything, and I would love to... And I relished in seeing them die. I relished in it. Fuck Ben. Fuck Gabe. Didn't do anything productive. Fucked up everything. Especially you. Actually, fuck you. You are the absolute worst. And you shouldn't even be a thing. And you actually share a name with a character that I also... I mean, okay. Gabriel, in the show, at the beginning, hate him. When he conspired against Rick, hated him even more. Because it didn't make any fucking sense. But it's a priest for you. And I hate priests in general, so that doesn't, you know, make it any easier for him. But I think the Gabriel in the show is... Yeah, absolutely. He's more bearable than fucking this piece of fucking feces. Fuck him. Ben, obviously, said my piece. Fuck him. Arvo, again, I can't rate him fairly. A piece of shit. Shot Clementine. Bolted off. Idiot. Asshole. Ambushes us. We give him back his fucking... Like, the supplies that we almost stole, we gave that back to him. So there was no way in justifying him basically robbing us. It made no fucking sense. And also, by the way, there's one guy missing, and that is actually the villain from season 1. Villain. You know, the guy with his that has like his wife's head in the back. You know, that guy. But again, villains were a little bit lackluster, aside from the ones that I put up there, obviously. Bonnie is obviously shit. David, they made him hate you, but justifyingly so. Still, him over Thirst Trap. Her name, Kate. Vermin, obviously hate him. Dr. Lingard is a piece of shit. Nate sucks. Mike is together in cahoots with Arvo and Bonnie, which is why I dislike him. I forgot your name, but you're loud and obnoxious, and you don't take anything serious, and I hate that. Kenny, again, from all the ones that we have here, I dislike him the least, but he's Rick and terrible in my opinion. Thanks for the dislikes. E tier, obviously characters that are like relevant in their own way, but not relevant enough to make like a lasting impact, which is obviously Vince, 400 days, and his two guys here. Again, with the stock market guy being like the least interesting among these three in general. Francine, tragic how she got mutilated. A little bit of a badass at the beginning. The doctor, obviously, in Crawford is a piece of shit. But also, I would love to see a little, or hear a little bit more about him. A character that you only see when you get the Jane ending, which is the dark timeline. Sadly. Well, actually, you can still prevent that. Yeah. You can still prevent the dark timeline. Her from the shell thing, the one that steals basically the supplies. I don't even know who you were anymore. Russell, cancer survivor group right here. These two from season 1, first episode. The guy's a mullet, I think. The guy that drives Javier, like the prison driver guy. Then Cancer Survivor Group, the girl that I called Pamela, which was not her name, but from Bonnie. Also from Bonnie, 400 Days. I don't remember. The guard at the watchtower, one of David's goons. Cancer Survivor Group, so doesn't matter too much. D obviously is for the category where I hate them, but they contributed a little bit to the story, like more so than the E tier did. Which is the prison guard in the final season. Conrad, obviously I hate him. Eleanor, I hate you. Like every choice that she gives you is just bad, you know? And then she sorta blames you for Trip. You know, Trip can die. And then she blames you even though it was you who fucking caused it. You snitched to fucking Joan of Arc. So obviously it is your fault, not mine. But yeah. We have like a wannabe bad guy right here. Badger. James is just a piece of shit. And annoying. Like, you know, I guess that's just that. When the Whisperers come, and I know that Tara, one of my favorite characters, dies in The Walking Dead due to fucking Whisperers, then they can suck it. Alright? And you're part of that. And also, you know, like ripping away AJ from you and shit like that. Yeah, that guy is unhinged. And then this guy that basically has no backbone anyways. So, yeah. C is something like characters that can be really interesting. Sometimes they die a little bit early on, which sucks because they have a lot more potential, which is to these two. They are by design, don't have much backstory. Asim and Omar, because they just got kidnapped. This guy, a lot more backstory than I actually initially thought. You know, with the whole Jolene thing. Shale. Put her here. Shale, 400 days, obviously. Again, like the least, like everyone, even though if you control them, they still have a little bit of character that defines them. She doesn't really. She's like bland yogurt, kind of. Next up we have the dictator from Shell. Interesting that he dies basically in season 2 because he actually made his way out of the gas station they were holding up in. The whole cause of the outbreak in Crawford. That's why I gave her, like Anna, that's why I gave her the standing that she's in. Also, the backstory with her having to have an abortion is really, really, like, dark, you know? And then, yeah, her stabbing Dr. Lingard, yeah. The doctor from Crawford, what was his name? Logan. Her stabbing Logan. And then, you know, like, you hear the shooting, and then, yeah, that's how basically Crawford got taken over by walkers. Becca, obviously, as I mentioned, she's that up high because, like, when I watch the show now, she makes almost the same decisions that I do. She's just reasonable, a cold piece, but you know, you gotta be a cold piece in this. Duck, I hate him, but obviously he has like a lot of staying power. Why is he in C? I mean, yeah, he's okay. Here's the thing: he's a kid. So is Clementine in season 1. But what Clementine does in season 1 is far more than Duck ever does. Molly could die, I think, in the school if we wouldn't take Clementine with us. She actually shot the walker that was about to attack Molly. And Molly would have been zombie meat. Duck doesn't do shit. Duck is responsible for the death of Sean. You try to save Sean and you can't. Hate him the least, though. There we go. Right, we have Mitch. Obviously, a piece of shit by design. As I mentioned, classic fucking bad guy, bully kind of character, especially towards Clementine. But, yeah. He knows about bombs. He actually doesn't want us in the group when we get kicked out. But, yeah. He does what he can still. Tavia. Yeah, prison guard, obviously. Recruitment of 400 days. Rosita. She doesn't interest me too much, and she's not like... What is she doing? Mostly. Nothing really. Nothing of substance. Katja obviously keeps like the whole thing together. Kenny loses both of them in one day. Duck and his wife. Also, you know, she cares about Clementine, you know. Is a veterinarian, so yeah. Definitely. Kate's... I hate the thirst trap kind of attitude that she has. Even when you reject her advances every time, she still doesn't understand it. But overall, not a bad character. You know? No, well, I mean... There, well... Actually, well, no, wait. Wait. There we go. Yeah, that makes sense. Markiplier, obviously. Markiplier, basically... I mean, yeah, the relationship he has with Lee is cool. He suffers of that thing that is like only relevant for one episode when he actually after he gets killed basically by the cannibals by St. John's. Ends up being on the plate, but yeah, that thing is a sick reveal. Whatever her name is, the one that shoots Omid, that's what she's got going for her, which means. Yeah, considering all the other characters, yeah, that's a more comfortable place, because, I mean, yeah, responsible for Omid's death, and maybe also by proxy, by Kristana losing the baby, yeah, an impact, but not as much as the other characters. Fuck her. Yeah, for her, I'm actually, you know, characters that are only relevant for one episode are usually, like, down. Minus Molly, but when they have like, I don't know, she has something. She has something, you know, like, I don't know. She is still sane, you know, in Final Frontier, and you know, compared to her fucking brother, which is an absolute piece of fucking garbage, she is cool. She's upbeat, you know. That's a shame that she died, and the way she dies is also insane. And we have everyone's favorite. Girl here, obviously completely psychotic, got bitten, and then, but you know, when you give her the gun, is she gonna shoot you because she's like mentally not stable and stuff like that? Max, obviously, character with a lot of facets. You meet him in episode 1 and you find out he's actually part of David's group and stuff like that, and also in cahoots with Joan of Arc. Ruby, obvious, together with Asim right here, and just funny character, especially with the accent that she has. And also keeps the group together, absolutely. Oh yeah, and Omar was also the cook. I just remembered. Right. Javier's father? Father? Yeah. Well... I can't remember anything worthwhile that he said. Not really, at least. The whole cancer thing where he basically hides it from his sons is kind of interesting, but that's about it. That's better. We have Sean Green, obviously, the son of Herschel. Yeah, certified good guy. Can't save him, sadly. Richie, the guy that doesn't try to cause any trouble in the compound in Season 2 with Carver's group. Obviously tries to make amends and tries to be in better standing to get out of the prison. Carlos, doctor, a little bit distant from everyone, but reasonable. And also tries to protect Sarah. Wyatt, obviously the best guy in 400 Days, together with Eddie. Their interactions, their banters are cool. Eddie, obviously a little bit more relevant because he also appears in the final season and the final episode. And we know that he's actually part of the fucking clan that has AJ. Joan of Arc, obviously a villain, but a really weak one at that, I would say. Because you can just shoot her in the head, so she doesn't have any, like, combat training or whatever, but she tries to assert dominance and tries to establish, like, a dictatorship where she has to say over everything. Also the one that is reliable for all the raids on other settlements. Basically, she's Negan in bad. Or Negan in not cool. Or threatening. You know? Basically. Alvin, again, when he dies right at the ski lodge, you don't get to see, like, his heroic arc, which is him basically shooting a couple of... when you are in Carver's office, to put the loudspeakers on and then, you know, draw the walkers towards the place. He shoots a bunch of bandits so you can make your safe escape. So that's cool. Which you sadly, again, don't get to see when he already dies at the ski lodge. And he doesn't have much interactions with Clementine at first. Other than, you know, you maybe, like, you know, can you keep your mouth shut? Because I want to keep my wife, like, a little bit more stuff to eat. That. Herschel is Herschel, you know. We all know him. We all love him. Could have been a little bit more of a staying character. Yeah. Nick, yeah. Actually, I put you here because I kind of always want to like him, and I kind of can, and I kind of can relate to... He lost... I think he had to shoot his mother or something like that. Then he lost Pete later on. Aside with a lot of other people, obviously, then also at the ski lodge. So, yeah, a lot of shit, obviously, that happened to him. But that's not an excuse to be a dickhead and, you know, shooting Matthew also with no reason whatsoever. Even though he tried to protect us, but still. It's kind of hard, you know, but, I mean, he doesn't have any ill intent. But still a little bit unhinged. Willie, obviously, as I mentioned, a guy... You know, dabbles in explosives when Mitch dies. Guy's reliable, for sure, even though he doesn't seem like that. Larry, Season 1, obviously mainstay, 2 episodes in. Absolute piece of shit. You are meant to hate him. He doesn't do anything to actually make you like him in any kind of way, shape, or form. Forgot his name, but the guard in... Isn't he somewhere on the bottom? Troy, right, in Season 2, obviously, the guy that you are meant to hate. Definitely a hateable character. The way Jane kills him is awesome. Abel, I would like to see a little bit more about him. He's, like, relevant for 2 episodes, I think. Or longer? I think longer, actually. One of the goons, Delta Squad with Lily. Definitely scary when he shows up for the first time. Carly, said my piece about her. Definitely the... compared to Doc, the worst decision. and also just completely incompetent in terms of like, I don't know how maybe I should push the button to fucking, you know, to start the radio, but it doesn't work. Maybe the batteries aren't in. Maybe you have to put the batteries wrong, like in wrong. Goddamn. Sarah, again, interesting character. She kind of has a little bit of character development before she dies. When Clementine slaps her, basically, you know, step out of it, fucking go, you know, survive. But yeah, you can tell that she doesn't make it that far, you know. Matthew and Walter, obviously two good guys, you know. Not more to say about that, especially... Well, actually, I'll put him before him because, you know, I like him a little bit more. Pete, obviously, also just a cool guy. Sad to see him die so early on to a stupid zombie incident at the lake, which kind of sucked. Flint, as I mentioned, in New Frontier, the only guy that actually, you know, tried to prevent anything from collapsing and tries to keep up normal stuff, or try to keep everything normal. Glenn is Glenn, you know, relevant for one episode. Tennessee, obviously, love that kid. He can cause Violet's death, which would put you in fucking F tier, but, you know. Other than that, it didn't. I made the right call. Having AJ have to shoot him is obviously really, really hard, given that he's his only friend. Andy is just psychotic, but, you know, when you overtake the farm, or actually, you know, get out of the cell, you can definitely... I mean, the guy's a fucking psycho. Also, the way he shoots Jolene. Or when you shoot Jolene, and then he makes the case of like, oh, you're fucking insane. Next up, we have Final Season. What was her name? Brody, right. Again, when you don't go fishing with Violet, which you should, and her, then you don't get to know too much about her, but when you do, obviously, you get a little bit more backstory about her. Definitely cool. Definitely a cool character. Mental issues, definitely. Because as I mentioned, like, maybe Tourette's or something. I don't know. When she gets, like, really agitated, like, she just starts cursing, you know? But yeah, her death is sad. And scary also when you have to fight your way out of there. Out of the cellar. Rebecca, not much to say, obviously. AJ's mother. Really hateable at first because she's hostile, but, you know, later on, obviously, mood swings probably because of pregnancy. Likeable, absolutely. Also, only wants the best for Clementine. Next up, we have Andy. From the St. John's, obviously higher than Danny, I mentioned, because he seems like a good guy. You wouldn't really think that he's a cannibal, fucking psychotic piece of shit, but he is. And that's the scary part about him. Then, obviously, the mastermind, if you will. Brenda. Was it Brenda? She looks like a Brenda. She is a Brenda. Brenda, that basically leads all the St. John thing. Marlon, facet character, absolutely. Episode 1, but it's longer than any other episode. But mood swings, cool guy at the beginning, something's off about him, and when he goes off absolutely insane and crazy. Trip, again, I guess you can murder his family and he would still not dislike you, you know? So that guy is just way too good for this world. Also gets his lights knocked out by Ava, which is slightly before him because loyalty. Definitely, Ava is someone you can rely on. I mean, so is Trip. But again, Trip, I mentioned that for his facial expressions. I can't read him. He never really smiles, you know? And for Ava, I think she's just loyal, you know? Jesus is Jesus. Come on. He's a little bit annoying in the game. But again, that gets overshadowed by the insane moves that he has. He protected Ben, which was Ben fucking Gabe, which was an issue because he could have actually just let him die. But the way, the way he sets up traps and just fights is absolute god tier, just like in the show. Basically, that guy's amazing. Luke, slightly before him. Because, yeah, like, literally just mostly because of the talk that you have in Season 2. When you are not in the shed anymore, you're actually in the house. And then, you know, he just sits down. You get to know every character, and he just has a little bit of a chat with you. He fights with you at the bridge. Has a little bit of an issue, or a little bit of a little bit of a jiggy situation with Jane as well. But yeah, Luke is just a cool guy. Maybell, obviously, you know, the ray of light in the zombie-infested world, the cow. But the cows. Chuck Mangione, also just a good guy. Krista, mysterious, definitely. I would love to have like an explanation what happened with her, you know, but sadly we don't get that. Lily, one of the major bad guys and an absolute piece of shit. Hate her, but she pulls her weight definitely, and she's scary. Javi, awesome. Final Frontier, one of the only good things that comes out of Final Frontier. Again, Ava and Trip are up here because they are just, you know, cool characters. If they wouldn't have been in Final Frontier, they probably maybe would have even been higher, but, you know, that's what they suffer from. But yeah, S tier, absolutely, Javi is just cool. Rosie, also, as I mentioned, Rosie O'Donnell, absolute beast, literally. Also, later, the dog from Clementine and AJ, after Marlon passed. Jolene, again, one of the absolute best characters ever. Because of the fucking, was it Joan? Not Jolene. No. Joan? Joan of Arc was, no. That was not her. Jolene, yeah. Simply because of the reason, like the writing of the character as being completely mentally unstable, but actually she says what is true, but you can't, as I mentioned, this is so good. But given that she's so crazy, you think she's just crazy and doesn't make any sense, you know? And it's a cool thing. And you have all the right to think that because of what she's saying, how she's saying it, and when you later find out that her kid got raped by the fucking raiders, she as well. She basically also held the raiders away from the camp because she genuinely cared about Clementine. And that's the thing. You find Clementine's head in the tent, so you assume the worst for her as well. So, yeah, you know, doubts all the way, but she's actually saying the truth. Carver, obviously the best bad guy, I guess, that we have in The Walking Dead. The way he treats Richie, obviously, the way he treats Clementine, all the other ones, basically. Really satisfying when Kenny punches his face in later on. Minerva, again, goosebumps when you hear her singing on the bridge under the moonlight, walkers behind her, because she's basically zombified at that point. Walking towards you with an axe. You know, like, it's badass, man. That's badass, absolutely. And also just how far gone she is. She killed, yeah. She was one of the twins that got actually sent away by Marlon. I forgot to mention that. And she killed her sister because her sister wanted to get back. So we thought, like, okay, maybe Lily killed her sister or she just died in battle or whatever. But it was actually fucking Minerva that killed her sister. So that's what tells you. And she's so far gone. She's just gone. You can't forget that. She's never coming back. Doug, again, if you've always saved Carly, save Doug. Doug is such a cool guy. If Glenn would have stayed, I'm pretty sure he would have hooked up with Doug. You know, they would have been best pals. I'm pretty sure. Or maybe Doug and Eugene also. Imagine Doug, Eugene, and Marlon. That's a combination I would definitely love to see. But yeah, Doug, you know, obviously the nerd, he would fare really well with Eugene. Absolutely, from the show. No doubt in my mind about that. But yeah, he has like his tools of being a nerd. You know, like making like this little bell device where you can actually see that walkers or maybe people come towards you, so you know, so you're alerted right away. The laser pointer that he uses when I think it was Andy attacking Lee at the end, you know, like he uses this laser pointer to blind him, basically. He's so good. And he basically also tried to save Ben, which got him killed in the fucking process. Fuck's sake, man. Or maybe, you know, I think that's also the same case for... Now I forgot her name for some reason. Carly. Molly, obviously, a mollywopped. Love her. Awesome character. I love her weapon. She has a little cool interaction with Lee. Also, she has like a little bit of comic relief with her facial expressions and stuff like that. Only relevant for one episode, but a really good one with Crawford. Cool backstory also. We don't know what happened to her afterwards, which kind of sucks. But I would like to think that she's still alive. Hopefully. Then we have the double S tier, obviously. The characters that you can't beat, the absolute best ones. And then obviously goes to Omid. Again, the guy's always positive. He can pull his weight, you know? But yeah, mostly he tries to always, you know, stay on the positive side. When you think that he dies is absolutely amazing. Absolutely tragic, obviously. The way he dies is also shit. But, you know, that's the thing. It comes like... It can't just happen like that. And that's what I love about the Walking Dead game. A walker bite or someone... A complete niche character like this piece of shit can just be responsible for the death of a major character. And that's exactly what happened with Omid. But yeah, to the end, you know, just like... the last bastion of just positivity in this. Jane, I said my piece. I fucking love Jane. I think I said everything about her. Jane Tech. She learns, or she teaches Clementine the main way to safely dispose of walkers. Kick in the shin or in the kneecap. And then something pointy to the back of the dome piece. Or at the side of the dome piece, basically. And she does that throughout the entirety of season 2 to 4. She comes back when the Russians attack, basically saving the group. When she actually said she wanted to leave, so yeah, and she cares about Clementine. She genuinely cares about Clementine. Next up, we have AJ. Obviously, AJ is amazing. You know, the way you teach him stuff, the way he adapts to what you teach him, the way he just like, you know, evolves basically later on, is really cool to see. And yeah, I think that sums it up. Lee goes without saying. I mean, it's fucking Lee, obviously, the one that started it all in season 1. One of the most tragic deaths ever, probably. I mean, yeah. I mean, it goes without saying. Violet, again, is everything that Clementine deserves. Love her. Character development is awesome. The romance arc with Clementine is so good. The best ever. Nothing comes close. And then obviously Clementine on the top. The number one, the GOAT. The one that, you know, still not bitten right here, obviously. I have so much merch with that. And also I have the 2 coming up with that too, where it's basically just like the base cap from final season and then like still not bitten below that. That also, like, if a character is that or has had that much of an impact in gaming and just life in general for me that I actually want to get a tattoo, that is saying a lot. And that's why she is also where she is. And I think that goes for every character tier list. If Clementine isn't the top, the cream of the crop, number 1, then something is wrong. Many people will disagree with this list, obviously, especially with my placement of Jane and Kenny. But, you know, this is my list. This is what I feel. Again, I can't rate her because she's from an ending that I never got. Or I have seen it, but I never really gotten it myself. So, yeah, can't really say anything about her. So she's just, you know, the odd one out. With that being said, my friends, this is the last glimpse of my tier list of the Walking Dead games. There is going to be another tier list coming soon about every 3 hours. So there's another tier list coming up soon with all of the episodes. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. Final Frontier is getting a special treatment with double F tier or something like that. But yeah, my friends, I hope you enjoyed it. The characters of the Michonne DLC are missing, but I think that's by design because it's like his own little thing. A couple of characters were missing. I noted down here. The main villain in season 1 is missing. David, the teacher in season 1. Oh, that's what this guy was. That's what that guy, the Air Force guy from Ben's group, actually. But they missed. They put him in, but not the teacher that got stuck in the bear trap and then turned. The only thing also that Ben is useful for is when he tells everyone that everyone is infected. That's the only thing that he's like useful for. Fievel is missing from season 1, which is the kid in the attic. That would have been really up there. Oberson is missing, which is the leader of Crawford in season 1. Given you never see him, but you have like the posters of him. Yeah, the villain in season 1, he's missing. 400 Days side characters from Vince and Roberto. Roberto is missing, which is a raider apparently. Okay. The season 2 raiders at the beginning which are the gang of Roman. This, not this guy. Wait, where is he? From Shell. This guy. This guy's group, basically. Where I mentioned, like, in Season 2, Episode 1, they just lie when you go fishing with Pete. And they just lie down there. His gang, which apparently attacked Krista, I think. Where is she? Where's she at? There she is. Who attacked Krista, and then, you know, Clem and Krista got separated. They are missing. Johnny is missing, who was in Carver's group in Season 2. All of the Russians in Season 2 are missing. And also, the rest of Randy's family is also missing. So, and obviously the Michonne characters, but you know. But yeah, my friends, with that being said, that was it for the Walking Dead game character tier list. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely stay tuned for other Walking Dead content in the future, which is obviously the season or the episode tier list next. I think we also have the Michonne things in there. But yeah, let's see. With that being said, my friends, I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you all in the next one.